There was an old woman who defied death's grip 3 times. Clinically dead. Her family mourned. The village gathered for her rites, yet each time she clawed her way out of the coffin. Alive. My grandmother was still with us then. I was studying to become a teacher. And on weekends, when classes paused, we'd sit together, chatting. One day, out of nowhere, she froze, her eyes distant, and asked, "Pa, do you hear anything?" I strained my ears, listening hard, but couldn't catch what she meant. "Hear what, Grandma?" she murmured. "The sound of a kite bird. Someone's going to die today. Mark my words. It's close to someone from our village." An hour after she spoke, the neighbors whispered that an old woman in the village had passed. Grandma frowned slightly at the name. "This one's died 3 times before." Only to snap back suddenly as a trap. "This time, though, she won't rise again." Her words sent a strange ringing through my ears. Was it the sound she'd meant? I asked. "Uncertain, Grandma. I hear a grinding like rice being milled." "Is that it? Or something else?" She nodded gravely. "Yes. The milling sound. This death's not alone misfortune will spill onto her kin." And so begins the uncanny tale of the fire goo. The Lan family was steeped in wealth. In olden days, Lan herself had been a landlady of vast riches. When peace settled over the land and the wave of land reform swept through, denouncing landlords, she parted a fortune to spare her life, and those of her children. She bore 6 of her 4 sons and 2 daughters. Money paved their paths. 3 sons studied abroad, returning as titans of commerce. The second-born climbed highest, reigning as director of mining and geology empire. His younger brothers forged their own famed companies in the city. The eldest, meanwhile, ruled a chain of gold and silver shops in Kwangning. Her daughters married and settled overseas. To any onlooker, the Lan clan was a marvel. Each child a pillar of success, dripping with wealth and prestige. Yet Lan lived apart from them all, clinging to the ancestral land, rooted in the old pillar house her forebears had left behind. That house, in its prime, must have been a grand relic, sprawling, beautiful, rare. Its furnishings echoed the opulence of landlords past. Her children begged her to move in with them, to let them honor her in her twilight years. But she waved them off with a stubborn hand. Resigned. They fortified her home instead, replacing beams and pillars with rare woods, swapping doors, chairs, beds, and cabinets for treasures worth a king's ransom. Far beyond the shell of an aging house, Lana outlived my grandmother in years, but brimmed with vigor and sharpness. Like a tireless bee, she toiled daily in her garden and vegetable patches. Then, abruptly, death crept into her thoughts. She rang her son Dun, demanding he craft her a funeral portrait. In our village back then, preparing your own death portrait wasn't odd. Grandma herself, hale as she was, had one made a decade prior. She'd said a portrait taken in health and joy made a fine image, descendants wouldn't shudder at it during offerings. Lan's command stunned her children. Her eldest, Fun, balked. "It's not unheard of," he admitted. "But with our family thriving, calling a photographer now might curse our luck and ruin us all." His reasoning swayed the others. And they urged Lan to wait. "You're strong, mother," they pleaded. "Live long with us. Enjoy your golden years." Lan said nothing. But resentment simmered beneath her silence. When her children left, she marched to the village photographer, donning an elegant dye and headscarf like the grand dames of yore, and had a stunning portrait made for her rights. Next, she sought a coffin quietly, without a word to her kin. Buying your own tomb or casket wasn't rare. Emperors had built mausoleums, and modern tycoons chased bespoke coffins. Lan entrusted a discreet go-between to procure a precious one. When it arrived, shrouded tight, villagers passing by mistook it for a new cabinet. Curious eyes lingered as it was carried straight to the side house Lan used as a storeroom. She'd even bought stone blocks to prop it up. Setting it squarely in the middle, the secret slipped when a neighbor, borrowing a spade to dig a pond, peeked inside. Nosy by nature, she ate the cover and screamed, bolting out in terror. Lan knew but held her tongue. Word spread, laced with scorn and dark murmurs. Unfazed, she shrugged. "I'm just preparing. Alive. I'm sharp. I'll manage myself. Dead. Lying still. Who knows where my kids would dump me? A coffin's just wood. Like a table or chair carved to my liking. Why the fuss?" True. It wasn't odd everywhere but in our village then. It was a strangeness that fueled endless chatter. Her children raged when they learned. Lan met their fury calmly. "I live my way. This house. My bed. My clothes I chose. My coffin's my final bed. No need to fret. Kings picked their tombs, and their heirs still ruled. You're grown? With your own titles and fates earned by your deeds. Not my coffin. Keep yammering. And don't bother coming back. It'll spare my eyes." Her words silenced them. Fun, though, seethed inwardly. Outwardly, he hushed to appease her. Secretly, he conspired with his siblings to hire thieves to steal the coffin away. Fung's wife had a sister steeped in spirit mediumship, coloring his mind with heavy superstition. With Dung's nod, they hatched a meticulous plan. But the hired thieves faltered. The coffin, massive and slick, slipped from their grasp mid-heist, crashing onto one man's leg. Bone shattered. He howled, and the ruckus woke Lan. She shouted for neighbors, who swarmed to catch the culprits. Panicked, the thieves fled to their truck and vanished. The coffin, hewn from a single limb wood trunk, a rare, priceless treasure, bore intricate carvings. Lan, old but rich beyond measure in gold, could afford such a prize. Rumors swirled she'd hoarded a trove of pure gold, hidden somewhere unknown. That golden billionaire whisper made her children fret for her safety, fearing bandits. They ringed her home with cameras and security, yet the night thieves breached it. She'd slept through. Furious, she summoned her children, vowing to disown any who dared touch her coffin again. They guessed she'd sensed their meddling but dodged blame, hemming and hawing. Her anger peaked. She ranted, then clutched her chest. Gasping, terrified, they rushed her to the hospital. Weakened, she still warned, "No one takes my coffin. Defy me, and I'll die with eyes wide open." After that scare, with doctors cautioning against further upset, no one dared cross her. Her health waned from that day. Her daughters, hearing of her illness, flew back one from abroad to tend to their aging mother. They pressed her to live with them for care. Given her age and frailty, she refused. This is my house. Live or die. I stay to guard it. I'll die here. No one drags me away. Lan's daughter, Lan, pleaded, Mother, how can we work in peace like this? Come with me abroad, I'll quit my job. Keep house and tend you. We'll visit temples together, plenty there. No less than here. Lan waved her off. If I go, your father will grieve. I stay with him. Reluctantly, her children took turns staying with her. They suggested a helper under the guise of aid. Really a watchdog for emergencies. Lan bristled, I'm still strong, no strangers in my house. Lan? Surprised. Countered, didn't we have a horde of servants before? That was then, Lan snapped. Now, I want solitude. Her fierce resistance quashed the idea. Lan stayed 2 months before returning to America, though. Her younger daughter from Canada took over. Thone and Lan clashed, rarely speaking heart to heart. Lately, Lan's oddities deepened. She even showed Thone her will, entrusted to a lawyer, and a mapper scrap detailing where she'd stashed a gold jar. Thone urged, don't keep it with you. Mother, bank it, let the state hold it. Write your wishes in the will, no need to fret over money. Lan scoffed, the state just steals from folks, never guards. My wealth stays mine. But you're old. Thone pressed. We won't let you lack. Name it, and it's yours. Clinging to that hoard invites trouble, thieves kill without blinking now. Give it away or use it, don't let it sicken you with worry. 3 months later both daughters returned. Feng's wife, Yai, took her turn sleeping at Lan's. New to the house, Guy couldn't rest, night brought faint murmurs, unnerving her. Rising, she saw Lan at a chair, whispering alone, flicking on the light. Guy called, Mother. It's late, sleep for your health. Lan didn't answer. Guy thought of sleepwalking or delirium. Phoning Feng, she's sleepwalking. Muttering alone, she won't respond. Hospital. Dear? I'm scared. Feng replied, stay with her, don't let her fall. I'll arrange a checkup tomorrow. Lan and Thone never mentioned this. Lan murmured all night. Words too soft for Guy to catch, just a low hum from her throat. Exhausted? Guy dared not look away. Hours later, Lan sprang up, pointing at the door, stammering incoherently. Her face shifted from shock to rage, alarming Guy. As Lan crumpled, Guy caught her, dialing Feng to rush her to the hospital. By 3 a.m., the house buzzed with kin, debating noisily. Lan had fainted, senseless. They sped her to the ward. She lay as if asleep, waking clear-eyed by morning, as if nothing had happened. That episode passed, no more sleepwalking followed. Lan resumed her days lucidly, even stronger than before, visiting neighbors with a cheerful gait. One day, she called Feng, I'd like to stay at your place a few days. That all right? Feng reeled, never had she willingly left her pillar house. Despite his pleas, mother's never done this. He marveled, sensing his silence. She added, I'm old, time's short. Soon I'll lie in that coffin. I just want a few days with my children, my last wish. Feng scolded her gloom and fetched her. She warned, I'm visiting, no one touches my coffin. Defy me, and I won't rest in death. Her coffin stayed put in the side house, untouched. Dung's son, Tung, slept over to guard it. But lying down, whispers seeped into his ears, chilling him. He blared music through headphones to drown them out. In sleep, a hand yanked him awake, eyes opening. He found himself inside the coffin, its lid inching shut. Terrified, he screamed, "Let me out! Release me!" A voice rasped, "Easy now, soon enough." Shouting's useless. The lid sealed. An icy grip clutched him, then a bizarre heat flared, scorching his flesh. Strength fading. He slipped into darkness. Morning found him bruised. Hands and feet mottled purple. Shaken. He told his mother of the dream. Alarmed, she called Guy, who, unnerved, relayed it to her sister Lynn. Lynn sighed, "Strange? A living soul in a coffin. That's an ill omen tied to that thing. I told you, urge Feng to ditch it. But mother won't allow it." Guy fretted. "Doom? It's doom," Lynn insisted. "I don't know what it is. But that coffin can't stay. All right, I'll talk to the family about moving it." Overhearing, Lan stormed inside, packed her bags, and demanded to return home. Spurning Feng's pleas, ignoring their protests, she hailed a ride back. Feng, seeing her fury, chased after, driving her himself. He stayed that night to test Feng's tale but dreamed nothing of. At dawn, Feng jogged. Returning past 7 a.m. Lan hadn't risen tired. He assumed. Letting her rest? Opening the side house, he froze. The coffin's shroud lay fallen. A dread pulse hammered his chest. Yen, Dung's wife, arrived with breakfast. Spotting Feng rigid in the side house. "Where's mother? Uncle? Sleeping late? Maybe. Call her up," he muttered. Yen tapped Lan's bed. Calling, no reply? Touching her? Yen gasped at the cold. "Uncle." She. "Something's wrong. Her hands and feet are ice." Feng bolted in. Lan lay neat as if asleep, but her chest stilled. He pressed fingers to her nose. No breath. "She's gone," he blurted, staggering Yen. They rushed her to the hospital. The car tore through the streets. The doctor shook his head. Too late. His words struck like thunder. Feng stammered, "How? She was fine last night. Ate 2 bowls. Laughed. Said she'd visit Dung today. Mother. Oh. Mother." Chapter 2, A Stroll Through Death's Door. The news of Lan's sudden death raced through the village like wildfire. Pity shadowed every tongue. Her children, scattered near and far, received the grim tidings and hastened back. The 2 daughters abroad arrived by noon the next day, their faces etched with grief. Lin Guy's elder sister, steeped in spiritual arts, was summoned to divine an auspicious hour for Lan's memorial. She pinched her fingers in calculation, then shook her head. Troubled, "Something's off, I can't grasp it. There's a strangeness here, lurking just beyond my sight." Guy, unnerved, pressed, "What's wrong, sister? Is it a bad sign? Should we delay the rites for tomorrow?" "No. It's not that," Lin murmured. "The hours are plenty. But I feel a queer unease. Am I weary? Misreading the signs? She brushed aside her tangled thoughts and declared, 1:25 this afternoon, perfect for the ceremony. Prepare quickly. At Lan's home? Wails of mourning pierced the air without cease. With many children and grandchildren. The house buzzed with comings and goings. Visitors poured in to pay respects. Too numerous to count. In our village, a funeral drew kin and neighbors in droves, each lending a hand to ease the family's burden. In Lan's room, her daughters knelt, weeping until their voices rasped raw. Yuan, an elder relative, patted their shoulders, make your mother beautiful. Girls. She loved elegance in life, let her shine in death. Lan nodded, trembling as she took powder and lipstick to her mother's pale, icy face. Her shaky hand smeared the rouge. Phone. Quick to help. Wiped the blot with a damp cloth. Sitting by the bed's edge, she jolted. Lan's stomach seemed to rise and fall faintly. Testing her nose. Phone felt a whisper of breath. Like sleep. Elated? She cried, mother's alive, she's breathing. Lan peered down indeed. A subtle rise and fall. She bolted out, shouting, everyone. Mother's awake. She's just sleeping. Dung snapped back, what's wrong with you? The hospital sent her back yesterday, how could she live? Fun? His voice hoarse with sorrow. Rasped, calm yourself. Sister. I felt the same yesterday. But she's gone. Lan insisted, no. She's alive, I swear it. Come see? She dragged Dung and Fung into the room. Phone sat dazed. Tears streaming. She was breathing a moment ago, now it's stopped again, she whispered. Lan crumpled, staring at her mother's still belly. Sobbing. Fung consoled, we all love her. Wish her well. But she's truly gone. Yesterday. They dressed her, rubbed oil for an hour to loosen her stiff limbs. She's been cold and rigid since morning, no waking now. Lan mumbled, no. I saw her breathe, I'm not mistaken. To the hospital, take her again. She lunged, clutching Lan's stiff form, urging a second trip. She clung to hope her mother, pale and unailing, couldn't have died so abruptly. Fung sighed, fine. Stay with her. We'll ready the rites, it's nearly time. Lan wouldn't relent, demanding another check. Dung summoned Tin, a neighbor medic, to examine her. Tin knew Lan was dead but humored them, pressing his stethoscope to her chest. Thump, thump, thump. The faint beats startled him. Her heart. It's beating. Lan clasped her mother. See. Her heart's alive, she's alive. Isn't she? Tin froze. Mind reeling. A corpse this rigid yet a pulse. Fun? Dung. And Koi gaped at his words. Koi grasped Lan's frail, icy hand. Seeking a pulse, nothing. Check again. Tin, I feel no life. Tin fumbled the stethoscope back. Strange. Nothing now? It's gone. Fung groaned, enough torment. I told you the doctors declared her dead yesterday. No miracles here. Guy and Yen watched her all night, cold, stiff, lifeless. Koi nodded, let's prepare ceremonies soon. Guests need tending. Our family's name demands perfection, no slip-ups. Lan clung to her mother's body, weeping. Her daughter knelt, soothing, don't grieve too hard. Mother. Let Grandma go peacefully, holding her keeps her restless. The funeral proceeded solemnly, horns blared outside. Cries echoed within. Mourners filled the yard and spilled into the lane. At the chosen hour, they began the encoffining. 4 young men gingerly lifted Lan's body, stepping slow with reverence. Her children and grandchildren encircling. Wailing? One youth shivered as he hoisted her. Dead over a day. Yet her body felt pliant, not rigid like most. He muttered, "Why is she still soft?" His companion whispered, "Maybe the family rubbed her with hot oil, kept her limber. Cold as it is. A day and a half dead. She's like someone asleep." They shook off the unease, heeding the right master's call to lower her in. Cough. Cough. A rasp from the coffin jolted home. Amid the horns and sobs, he knew he hadn't misheard. Tugging Fung's sleeve, he hissed, "Father." I heard her cough. Check again. Fung glared, "Not you too haunted by fancies. She's dead. Son. Go tend the guests." Hone leaned to Tung, "I swear. I heard her cough, my ears don't lie." Tung glanced at the coffin. Shuddering? That dream of being trapped inside still prickled his skin. "Don't spook me, she's gone. Our parents brought her from the hospital. Remember? You misheard?" Hone stepped out, but the cough lingered in his mind. Risking rebuke, he whispered to his mother, "What if she's alive? I heard it from the coffin." Fussing with her mourning garb, she snapped, "Nonsense. Put on your headband and greet the guests," scolded. Hone grabbed the cloth and shuffled off, eyes flicking to the freshly lidded coffin. He turned to Lan, "Aunt? I heard her cough, open it. Please. I'm sure." Lan, raw with grief, flinched. She'd seen breath too, couldn't accept this end. Boldly, she shoved at the heavy lid. "Home. Help me." Guy rushed over, "What madness is this? You can't open it now." Lan's eyes blazed, "Step aside, I'll check one last time. I'll bear any sin." Guy barked, "Are you crazed? How can she rest like this? One final look, no regrets. Move. Hone, open it." A clamor erupted, some urged, others restrained. Cough. Cough. The sound rang clear. Guy's ears caught it, she froze, clutching the coffin, straining to hear more. Silence answered. Bewildered, she faced Lan and Hone. Lan shouted, "Why gawk? Open it, any harm to her?" "Blame me." Guy dashed to Fun, who hobbled with his cane, bowing to mourners. Her words flushed his face red, then drained it pale. He staggered inside, calling Hone to heave the lid aside. Grunting, they pried it open. Lan lay tilted, head rightward. Gasps of fear and awe filled the room. Fung stammered, "Quick, lift her out." Her children rushed in, stunned. She turned herself in the coffin. Fung and Hone eased her free. Koi faltered, "Stop the rites now." Yen stood rooted, "What? What is this?" "Hospital, hurry." She tugged, "Dung, get the car, take her, we've sinned gravely." Across the room, Fung laid her on a bed, ordering the funeral dismantled, and apologies to guests. Lan's eyes fluttered open, lips twitching, "Is it dawn? Why so noisy?" Fung knelt, bowing, "Mother. You terrified us. Heavens. Mother." Lan blinked, scanning the room, Why's the house so strange? I heard funeral horns. Who died nearby? Her question left them mute, exchanging blank stares. Phone grasped her hand. You dreamed it. Mother, no funeral. Hungry. I'll fetch food. She signaled the others to handle the chaos outside. Yen shut the door, massaging Lan's limbs. Lan wheezed, where's your father? Why isn't he here? Yen hedged, you're missing him again. Tears welled in Lan's eyes. Yes. He left me long ago. Last night. He came, took me with him. Showed me a beautiful house. Fung, Dung, Koi were there. Phone soothed, you just woke. Rest. Don't talk too much. We'll hear your tales later. Lan tilted her head toward a wall painting. Look, your father's back. He's calling me. Step aside, let him sit with me. Lan gazed at it, dazed. Yes? Mother, he's always with you. Lan choked, liar. He betrayed me once but repented soon enough. Home. Tongue. Shuen, where are they? Have they reached shore? They're outside. Lan replied. Shall I call them? Lan blinked. Good, they're safe. I feared no one saved them, poor dears. Tell them to beware, spirits lurk close. She hiccuped. I'm tired. I'll sleep. She drifted off instantly. Fung scooped her up, racing to the hospital. The doctor, after tests, said exhaustion had failed her, nourish her, and she'd recover swiftly. Fung lit a cigarette, exhaling slow wisps that vanished into the air. Young clapped his shoulder. All's well. Brother, mother's awake. If we hadn't caught it, we'd be murderers. I still tremble thinking it. How's the house? Sorted, Dung said. Clean as if nothing happened. Guests rejoice, neighbors bless her escape. Guy chimed. No wonder. Lin fretted over the encoffining hour, sensed something odd she couldn't pin. Her number wasn't up. Thank heavens. Fung crushed the cigarette underfoot, snarling, damn those doctors, I nearly buried her alive. Guy clucked, not all their fault, you weren't alone. Dung. Yen. We all heard her pronounced dead. Who'd guess it'd twist so fast? Lan spoke. She danced through Death's Gate and returned. Let's forget it, focus on honoring her now. Keeping her glad. I say we bring her to one of our homes for care. Fung grimaced. Trouble is, she won't budge. From now on, we take turns staying with her daily. I can't bear another scare like this. Lan pressed. How do we arrange it? She's recovering. Doctors say she can leave any time. If we're uneasy, let her stay a few more days. Koi replied. Bring her home. Lam? Can you coax her to my place? I can't drop work to stay here, it's tough. She won't agree, Lan cautioned. She clings to this house. We shouldn't defy her, anger could ruin her health. Lan paused, recalling, oh? I forgot, since waking, she talks to herself at night. Oddly. Keeps calling Fung. Koi. Dung. Just now, she said she followed father to meet the fire goo. Fung's brow furrowed. Fire goo. What's that? First I've heard of it. Chapter 3, A Visit to the Underworld. Part 1. Lan murmured, I heard mother say it. But what's this fire goo? Koi scoffed. Nonsense, I've lived this long and never heard such a term. She's been weary lately. Babbling oddities. I asked a neurologist, they say it's hallucinations. At her age, the mind wavers. plenty younger than her are far more adult. She's still sharp enough. Lan nodded, true. But it's strange. Last month, I slept by her side for days. She never rambled like this. Feng waved her to hush. We've seen it. Guy caught her sleepwalking, muttering alone in her chair at night. It's nothing rare. Dung broke in. She's stable and stronger now, that's what counts. But, honestly, I can't shake this nagging guilt. That coffin. Can we really leave it in the house? Some nights I stay there, and it haunts me. I've even dreamed I was trapped inside it. A cold gust swept past as he spoke, making him shiver. But chilly. Just thinking of it gives me goosebumps all over. Feng dismissed. Oh. Come now? I was the first to object. But you know Mother's stubbornness. Cross her, and she'll take it to heart, might even fall ill. Then burn it. Dung clapped eagerly. Yes, fire. While she's in the hospital. Douse it with gas and torch it. When she's back, call it an accident. Ever since I dreamed of lying in it and Tung bolted home screaming he was locked inside in his sleep, I've been terrified. Lan smirked. What era is this? Uncle Dung. To fear such things. Who wouldn't? He shot back. That dream felt real beyond words. If my family hadn't woken me, I'd have wet myself. Pure dread. Koi shook his head. You're old but act like a child. Dung's eyes widened. What did I say wrong? Koi retorted. Set the house ablaze and see if Mother spares you. Such a childish fix. Dung scratched his head. Stealing it failed. Burning's out. What brilliant ideas do you all have? A living home with a coffin grandly parked in it. Village tongues wagged with malice. Feng sighed. None of us liked her planting that coffin there. But I've no solution. So it stays. After her brush with death and lying in it once, keeping it feels ill-omened. Let's have it hauled off and burned before she's home. Feng acted swiftly. He hired men to cart the coffin away openly for incineration. The hired hand, awed by its value, couldn't bear to destroy it. Instead, he took it home. His wife shrieked, demanding he remove it lest it curse them. After hesitation, he sold it to a coffin shop for 2 million dong. The shopkeeper, thrilled as if striking gold, polished it and perched it atop his highest shelf for all to admire. Selling coffins was fine for grieving families, but folk shunned bringing one home like burying the living. Lan returned hale. She chartered joyfully the whole ride back. Her kin, elated, slaughtered a cow for a feast, inviting the village to celebrate her recovery. The side house stood unchanged save the coffin's absence. Fearing her wrath, her children swapped in a sharp-edged wooden block, propped in its place. Feng had it wrapped in cardboard, sealed tight, and draped with a vast cloth. Lamb? Home at last. Beeline for the side house to check her coffin. Satisfied, she nodded, then climbed to the pillar house to light incense at the ancestral altar. Neighbors flocked to welcome her, and she beamed, trading tales. No one dared breathe a word of her near death. Suddenly, weariness hit. She beckoned Koi. I've sat too long feeling faint. If folks come by, tend them for me. I'll rest a bit. Lan rushed to guide her to her room. Lying down, she shooed her daughter, help in the kitchen and shut the door. The noise pounds my head. Lan obeyed, stepping out. But as her hand grazed the door, a chill gripped the room, unearthly cold. Glancing back, She saw her mother curled toward the wall, breathing soft, already deep in sleep from exhaustion. Tiptoeing out, she closed the door. Inside, Lan stirred, easing upright. From an old wooden cabinet, she drew a small box, inspected it, then hid it again. Sitting briefly, she returned to bed. Beyond the window, dark, gleaming eyes fixed on her room, missing nothing. Hours later, Lan awoke from a nightmare, straining to scream herself free. Thone, hearing her cries, burst in. "Get out! Out! I say," Lan bellowed. Thone faltered, "Mother. It's me. What's wrong? A bad dream?" Lan glared, seizing her beetle-pounding pouch and hurling it, "Filthy wretch, begone!" Guy stormed in. Stunned as the pouch flew, "What's happening? Mother?" Thone grabbed Lan's shoulders, "It's me. Mother. Just a nightmare, it's over. I'm here, don't be angry." Guy snatched up the pouch, "You must be tired dreaming dark things. You're never this furious." Lan rubbed her eyes, panting, "Vile curs. Summon those faithless brats here." She rose, striding out oddly vigorous, her steps firm. She stormed to the living room, roaring, "Which of you dared defy this old woman?" Step forward. All froze, baffled. Guy steadied her, "Mother? Calm down, what's wrong?" Lan shoved her off, pointing to the kitchen, "Fetch a knife now." Fung and Koi raced up, frantic, "What's this? Who upset you?" She jabbed at Fung, "You. Ingrid, bring me the ritual blade." Fung blinked, "A knife for what?" "Mother. We'll handle whatever you need." She nodded, "Then sever the hand of whoever took my coffin. Can you manage that?" Her words blanched their faces. Lan clutched her, "Mother. Don't rage. The coffin's still in the side house, you saw it this morning." Lan flung her aside, charging to the side house. With a sickle, she tore the cloth away, slashing the cardboard to ribbons. A wooden block lay bare as she shredded its disguise. "This," she spat, "this is the coffin you'd bury me in. Speak, who dared take mine?" Her kin stood mute. Lan softened her tone, "Mother. We erred, forgive us. We feared a seer's warning, a coffin here would sap your spirit, weaken you. We acted for your health. You thriving gladdens us, don't this? Please." Lan's eyes raked them, "Whoever spirited it away. Fetch it back. Until it's restored. Don't call me mother. Now out of my sight," she bellowed. "Banishing them?" Ordering the feast, dismantled, no celebration for her return. Lan and Thone coaxed her fury down. She growled, "A coffin in a home kills its dwellers. Then coffin sellers would all be dead. Think hard, want my peace. Bring it back." Fung eyed Dung wearily. Dung sighed, "Lucky she didn't faint from shock." "What now? They burned it, where do we look?" Koi snapped, "Find one like it, buy it back for her." "What else?" Lan's voice echoed from within, "Return my coffin, no swaps or tricks." Her daughters exchanged wary glances, at a loss for counsel. Lan lurched up, "Track down who you hired to take it. Fail. And get out, all of you." She stumbled back to her room. Thone trailed, "Don't overreach. Mother. The brothers will find it. But if it's ashes, what then?" "Ashes?" Lan barked. "Your father just told me it's intact." who'd burn something so precious. You dreamed of father again. He came to lead me. But I was too mad to follow. What? Lead you where? Lan fixed Thone with a stare, to the underworld. Where else? I've been cold one moment, blazing the next. I'd have stayed with him. But that she-devil appeared. Years on. She clings like a leech, won't let go. Muttering to herself, she added, I'm weary, need rest. Find my coffin. That night, Thone and Lan slept on a cot beside her bed. They lingered awake till late. Eyes heavy. A hand slid under Lan's blanket, icy. She yanked the cover to her chin, shoving it off. Moments later, it crept back, irking her. Startled awake, she saw Thone slumbering soundly, frowning at the phantom touch. She turned and froze. Lan sat hunched at the bed's edge, grinning as their eyes met. Lan shuddered, stammering, Mother. It's late, why aren't you asleep? Lan's grin widened. Wordless, she crawled to the wall, collapsing against it. Lan sighed, you spooked me. Rest, it's deep night. No reply? Lan settled back, pulling her blanket, but jolted upright. Recalling something, she yanked the lamp cord. White light flickered. Steadied. She shook Thone. Sister? Wake up, Mother's odd. Thone stirred, morning already. I just dozed. No still night? She's strange, touched me. Grinned. That's not odd. Thone yawned. She's asleep, dreaming. Sleepwalking again. Really? It chills me. Sleep, don't overthink. Thone slid to Lan's bed, tucking her in. Then doused the light. Lan lay down but soon snapped awake. Strange noises echoed through the house. Glancing over, she gasped. Lan's bed was empty. She shook Thone. Wake up, she's gone. Thone bolted upright. She's right there. No, she's not. Maybe the bathroom. I'll check. Thone leapt up, flung the door open. Living room silent. No trace of Lan. Mother, are you there? She called softly. No answer? Panic surged, her heart raced. She flicked on every light, yelling, Lan, she's missing. How'd we sleep through it? Lan trembled. Check the bathroom quick. They dashed through an open side door to the kitchen and latrine. No sign. Dread gripped them. She's vanished in the night. The front's locked, where could she go? Lan cried, the cameras. Check them, maybe she's wandering. Sleepwalking. I'm terrified. Thone fumbled to the TV, routing the footage. Lan flung the door wide, shouting into the dark, Mother, where are you? Chapter 4, A Visit to the Underworld. Part 2. It seemed Lan wasn't near the house and no reply met their calls. Lan darted back inside, urging Thone, did you see? Which way did Mother go? Thone dragged the mouse across the table, but it stubbornly froze. She slammed it in frustration. What cursed thing is this? Why can't I view the footage? Call Dung, get him here. Lan dialed Dung and his wife. Hearing the news, they raced to Lan's home. The sisters split up, one with a miner's lamp, the other with a flashlight, scouring the yard and garden. Dread gnawed at them. What if their mother, wandering in the night's chill, had collapsed somewhere unseen? Time crawled on. Dung's family arrived, yet the sisters found no trace. Dung pressed, how could you sleep beside her and not know she'd gone? Lan stammered, We slept late, too deep to notice when she rose. What about the cameras? Checked them. They're broken, the mouse or something. Phone replied. I couldn't replay. Dunn strode in. Tested the system oddly. The mouse now worked. He pulled up footage from the living room and Lan's bedroom. Phone interjected, check after 2 a.m. We woke then. And she was still abed. I tucked her in myself. Dunn scrolled past 2 a.m. The room lay still. 3 figures sleeping soundly across 2 beds. He pushed to 3 to 4 a.m. Nothing amiss. So, when did you lose her? He asked. Why's there no sign of her leaving? But at 2, Lan insisted. I woke, she was sitting up, staring. I urged her to sleep, she curled by the wall and dozed. Phone nodded, yes, I covered her. The lights were on at 2, I can't be wrong. Dung slid the cursor to 2 a.m. Confirming, Lan crawling upright. Gazing at her daughters, Lan flicking the light, Phone tucking her in. Strange? He muttered. When did she slip out? It's barely 4 now, how'd she leave without a trace? He noticed a glitch 5 minutes near 4 a.m. The feed blank. His brows knit, did she slip out when the camera failed? Look over 5 minutes lost. Foreheads huddled. Staring at the gap. Where'd she go? Why'd it fail then? The question looped. Unanswered. Dung phoned Koi and Fung, reporting her vanishing. Both families rushed back to the village. Fung called, check anywhere she might go, where'd she wander at night? We've torn the house apart. Dung replied. The gate was open when I arrived, she must have left. But which way? The camera cut out for 5 minutes past 3, I reckon she slipped out then. Split up and search. Fung ordered. We're on our way. Could she be mad about the coffin? No, she'd vanish us. Not flee. Maybe her mind's unsteady, sleepwalking again. Hurry. They fanned out in 2 directions. Lam? Struck by a memory of her mother mentioning their father. Dialed Dung, head to the graveyard, she might be there. The graveyard? Why? Just go. She kept naming father today, I think she went to him. Dung and Yen spun their bike toward the family plot, a patch of old farmland. Bought long ago. Walled off. And turned into a private cemetery. Dung roared in. Spotlighting a figure clutching their father's tomb ledge. His headlamp caught her lamp. Yen. Help her? He barked. Yen rushed over, mother. Missing father. We'd have brought you by day, why sneak here alone at night? No reply? Yen lifted her Lan's body rigid. I see. Dung, she's wrong. Dung stumbled up. Senses reeling. He hoisted her, quick, she's frozen. Call the others, hospital. Now. Yen trembled, she's not breathing. Don't spout nonsense. Call them, hold the bike. Just then. Lam? Phone. And Tung roared up. 5 of them sped Lan to the hospital. Her body stiffened. Mirroring that earlier day Yen found her. Doctors again pronounced her dead. Fung stormed in. Roaring through the ward, save her. Damn you. She was fine, how's she gone? A doctor explained. Fung wouldn't hear it. Threatening, last time you botched it I spared you jail. Mess up again. And you'll rot there. Under pressure. The doctors rechecked meticulously, still. She was gone. Lan and Thone crumpled. Sobbing over her body. A doctor. Hesitant. Urged, prepare her rights, she's truly passed. Feng raged, past. Like last time? When you sent her home dead. And she woke the next day. Thriving. Save her. Lan wailed. Pleading. She's not dead. You're wrong. The doctors sighed. Exchanging looks, we can't. You're doctors. How dare you say that? Feng bellowed. I'll sue. One replied, we heal the sick. Not raise the dead. Take her to a higher hospital with the same outcome. Feng lunged, Dung restrained him, calm down, we'll transfer her. Like before. She'll wake. They hauled her body to another facility. A nurse, watching, muttered, dead's dead, no saving that. Only Sun Wukong could. Dung cradled Lan in the car's rear. Her hand gripped his eyes widened, Mother, you're awake. She's awake. Everyone. Lan's lips fluttered, why are you all here? Found my coffin yet? Noticing the car. She pressed, why am I here? Where's your father? Feng cried, you scared us sick. Why run to the graveyard at night? Lan blinked, run there. I was asleep at home. She paused. Then asked, why are you all clustered? Won't we building a new house? Your father said the old one's too small for our brood, ordered a bigger one. You agreed. Right? Lan faltered, Mother. What are you saying? I don't follow. Lan peered at her daughters, you two here too. Didn't he say this was for the son's daughters wed out? No say in birth home matters. Her ramblings about her husband stunned them. Dung clasped her frail hand, whatever you and father want. We'll do, but please? No more wandering at night. I didn't wander, she insisted. I was home. Your father took me to check the land for the new house. Where are you taking me? Thone ventured, you don't recall last night where you went. What you did? Lan replied, I woke at dawn and left. You two slept so sound? I didn't stir you. Your father said it's men's work, no need to rouse the girls. The siblings exchanged silent, wary glances. Truth was, Lan had sleepwalked, risen at midnight, trudged to the graveyard, lain by her husband's tomb, and fainted until now. At that point, I turned to my grandmother, how could this happen? Grandma? I thought sleepwalkers still breathe normally. She answered, she did sleepwalk, opened the door herself and lay by his grave. But her spirit slipped free then. Her soul roamed elsewhere with another. Not yet back when her kin rushed her to the hospital. Sleepwalking wasn't new to me, I'd seen it myself. In 11th grade, our village held a mid-autumn camp at the temple yard. I had a sworn band of brothers, 7 boys, 5 girls, me included. We lit a bonfire, made sticky rice cakes, and feasted past 1 a.m. before bedding down. I couldn't sleep, so I watched the boys play cards and sip water. They teased, girls should rest, lots of wild ghosts here. Watch out, they'll snatch you. I shot back, I'd hide them first, no ghost dares nab me. Worn out? They spread mats on the temple porch and in tents. Nearly 30 camped there. Once they slept, I grabbed the pot we boiled cakes in, smeared my hands black with soot, and mixed in pig fat used to keep dough from sticking. Sneaking through, I painted over 20 sleeping faces of boys and girls. No exceptions, like a prank from Dialkin's Tales. Though I was the culprit. Seeing their soot and grease-smeared faces, I stifled giggles, imagining their morning shock. Done. I wandered to the temple gate, gazing at the pond ahead when a figure approached from afar. A woman, hair loose, walked with shut eyes. I shrank back. The full moon lit her shadow. She was flesh, not phantom. Silent. I watched her pass, then double back the way she'd come. I tracked her fading form. Mute grandma had warned, never call out to a sleepwalker, lest you startle them and harm their soul. When she vanished around a bend, I slipped back to camp. The tents were packed, so I ducked into the temple, curling behind the altar curtain by the village deity, dozing off. Morning broke with drum beats. Faces met, and laughter erupted, blaming this one, that one. But no culprit emerged. Kuong noticed me missing, rallying a search. Waking, I fumbled, knocking over a tray of baked offerings, muttering apologies for the sacred spill. I crawled out, clutching 4 cakes. Kuong spotted me. You slept in there. Fearless. Ha! I waved the cakes, not scared. Got loot too. Then they saw my clean face and suspicion turned my way. I eyed their blackened visages, collapsing in laughter. That suit fat mix was a beast to scrub. Kuong grinned, Ha hid in there, dodged the prank. Some sneak got us. I bit back chuckles, feigning ignorance, keeping my secret for over a decade before spilling it. I seized the moment to mention the night's woman with loose hair. The boys teased I'd met a ghost, scared off by my bravado. I insisted she was human. TN. A new teacher. Confirmed, you saw a sleepwalker. For sure. I pressed grandma, so Lan's like that woman, right? She nodded firmly. I pushed, if her spirit left her body. Is her talk of her husband wanting a bigger house real? Yes, she said. But not her desire. Something darker, more terrible, pulls her strings. Her soul fled her flesh, so often dead yet not dead. What is it? I gasped. The fire goo. She shook her head. No. Her time hasn't come. That's why she lingers. Had she died sooner, later sorrows might have been spared. Yet she added, life's a cycle of karma, sow and reap. Heaven's just, debts demand payment. What do you mean? Don't meddle too deep in their affairs, she cautioned. Hear much? No much, but curb your curiosity. It can doom you. Her warning hushed me. I listened on. Questions stilled. She said Lan's soul had indeed descended to the underworld, guided by her husband. Her memory fractured. She woke weaving disjointed snippets her children couldn't grasp, dismissing it as sleepwalking. They didn't sense the smoldering blaze. A storm of fire brewing, ready to engulf their clan. Chapter 5, To Live or to Die. After Lan's second brush with death and return, her children and grandchildren grew wary, treading carefully in all they did. Her 2 daughters stayed on to tend to her. By day, she was her old self, cheerful, chatting, laughing with everyone. But night brought the familiar curse, sleepwalking. Time and again, she slipped out to her husband's grave. Lan took to locking the doors, hiding the keys meticulously before bed to cage her mother's nocturnal wanderings. Dunn tracked down the man hired to burn the coffin, pressing for answers. At first, the man claimed it was ashes, but when Dung mentioned Lan's dream that it had been sold, his wife, pale with fear, confessed her husband had hauled it to a coffin shop. Dung sought the shopkeeper, begging to reclaim it. The man's face lit up at Dung's arrival. As if shedding a burden. He asked no more than he paid. Even packing the coffin himself, and delivering it to Lan's home. Something uncanny clung to that coffin, his ashen complexion betrayed it. As he left, he stood at the gate, drew a deep breath, and muttered, "It's back. I've done it." A neighbor overheard and relayed it to Lan. She chuckled softly, "What's not yours, you can't keep." If Dung hadn't found it, they'd have brought it to my door themselves. The neighbor blinked, "How'd you know?" "Fire Goo told me." Lan replied. Lan? Overhearing her mother invoke the name again. Crowed, "What's this Fire Goo?" "Mother. You've mentioned it before. Is it what speaks in your dreams?" Lan gazed at her daughter, "Soon, very soon you'll see for yourselves. A blessing to embrace. A curse unavoidable." She left that cryptic thread dangling and retreated to her room to rest. A week after the coffin's return, Lan's vigor surged. She ate heartily, craved outings, and roamed to places unseen. Her children found it odd once a homebody who shunned travel, citing fatigue or longing for her husband and house. Now she demanded they whisk her everywhere she'd never been. Lan, gladdened by her mother's help, confided her unease to Thone, "Sister, this change, it's strange. I can't make sense of it. What if she's preparing?" Thone waved it off, "Don't conjure nonsense. She's hale and happy, that's why she wants to roam. Would you? Weary? Yearn to travel? I just fear this is her last jaunt before." "Rubbish," Thone snapped. "Her color's bright, she's thriving." "True," Lan relented. "I pray she stays well. It lifts us all." For a month, Lan reveled in excursions, touring scenic wonders, yet never once a temple. Thone proposed a pilgrimage for peace, but Lan refused. The sisters, set on a temple visit for luck and family blessings, pressed on despite her. Lan fumed, "Go if you must, I'll stay with him. Don't fret over us old bones, we manage ourselves." Fung intervened, halting the sisters, suggesting instead a rite at the Lady of the Treasury's shrine to repay a year's staff loan. With prayers for the clan, Lan and Thone agreed, drafting a petition for Fung to present. That night, the sisters slept beside Lan's bed, lost in talk of tech plans till late. Lan slumbered deeply, undisturbed. As they drifted off, she stirred. Stealthily, she crept to their cot, rummaging for the house keys. Lan jolted awake as a hand poured her clothes. Seizing it, "Mother, it's late, what are you doing?" Lan didn't answer, only grinned faintly. Her free hand darted to Lan's pocket, snatching the keys. Lan frowned, "Where are you off to now?" "Sleep tomorrow. Thone and I will take you. It's freezing out." Wordless, Lan bared her teeth, sinking them into Lan's hand. Lan yelped, releasing her. Quick as a squirrel, Lan sprang down, hunched, and scurried to the door. Her stooped, fleeing form chilled Lan. "Mother, what are you doing?" she shouted. Thone woke to the cry, "What's wrong? Is it Mother? She's got the keys." Lan raced after her. "Help me bring her back." They dashed out. Lan was at the door, deftly unlocking it. The latch sprang, she turned, grinned again, and bolted outside. She ran, not walked, fleeing as if terrified of recapture. The sisters lunged. Grappling her, Lan lashed out, her bony hands flailing. With effort, they dragged her in. Lan locked the door, hurling the keys out the window. Mother, they're gone. Sleep tomorrow. We'll take you anywhere. Lan glared, her eyes fierce, unnerving them. What's with her? They whispered. This isn't her. Thone swallowed hard. Is she possessed? She's never scampered like that. No. Lan faltered. Maybe the grave again. We'd better watch her? They coaxed her to bed. Scowling, she climbed in, pressed against the wall, face inward. The sisters lay beside, guarding her. Sleep soon claimed them. Creak, creak, creak. The sound snapped Thone awake. She glanced at Lan's bed empty, scanning the room. She froze. Lan dangled from the window bars, swaying. Lan? Wake up, something's wrong, Thone hissed. Lan? Bleary. Followed Thone's pointing finger. Lan perched precariously, growling low, dentures grinding. Lan pinched Thone's wrist. She's possessed, I'll light incense for father. She dashed to the altar, striking a match. As the stick met the burner, Thone screamed, Mother! Don't scare us. Lan rushed back. Thone clutched Lan's crumpled form on the floor, limbs twitching, mouth skewed. Quick ambulance. She's had a stroke? Thone barked. Lan dialed done, alerting the family. Thone rubbed oil on Lan's rigid body. Eyes rolled back, drool seeping. What do we do? Lan panicked. The keys are outside. First aid now, Thone snapped. Dun's coming. Stroke meds. Pry her mouth open. Lan fumbled for the kit, forcing pills into Lan's mouth, praying for Dung's speed. Soon, he arrived, and they rushed her to the hospital. Doctors deemed it a stroke. Timely aid spared her life, but her twisted limbs needed therapy and medicine for recovery. Fung, livid at the sisters tossing the keys, scolded them. Lan bristled. You weren't there. She rifled all night for them. I hid them in my coat, and she still fished them out asleep. I grabbed her. She bit me. Look. She bared her arm. Purple teeth marks glared back. Fung sighed. Hide them higher out of reach. Thone retorted. You don't know how strange she gets. Climbing like a monkey, darting like a squirrel, fast as a hare. She unlocked the door in a flash, eyes blazing like headlights. We chased till we dropped to stop her, without tossing the keys. Think we'd have held her. Fung exhaled. Install code locks. She won't crack those. Dung shrugged. No need. Her limbs like this. She's not running. Indeed. Lan survived, but her warped hands and feet ended her midnight escapes. Lan added, before the stroke. She swung from the window. I nearly fainted. We thought possession. I lit incense for the ancestors. Thone nodded. She pried it open, dangled there. When Lan prayed, she let go. I caught her. Fung brooded, then spoke. Maybe a spirit's here. Too many oddities otherwise. She's old, no strength for such feats. I'll ask Lin to check. While she's hospitalized, we'll hold a right to banish evil and bless the house. All agreed. Fung's plan made sense. He called Lin, but she couldn't pierce the mystery veiling Lan's kin. She sent him to a famed exorcist in Maokay. The master's eyes gleamed at Fung and his wife. A great goo festers here. Karma's chains? Heavy across generations, how's it unseen? Feng frowned. Master, no one's died in our family for nearly 50 years, how can there be a goo? The master shook his head. There is certainly. Why else would I see it? A death at a dire hour. You've come late. Whether this goo can be cleansed hinges on your clan's fate. He rambled of goo and looming calamity. Feng's ears buzzed. A goo from death, he'd believe. But since his father's passing, no one had perished. Guy rattled, pleaded, please, Master, look again, we've lost no one. Believe or not. It's your choice, he said. I speak what I see. Doubt me. Seek another seer soon. A chain of deaths looms next year. Inescapable. Will your mother survive it? That rests on underworld grace, and it won't shield forever. Feng pressed. Techniers, can you craft a right to lift this curse? If it's for coins, I'd do it. The master replied. But through Lin's bond. I'll be blunt, no right can undo this now. Ready for Tet. If a black cat crosses your threshold, then find me at once. Doom, it starts there. Chapter 6, The Cat of New Year's Eve Fun. Hearing the exorcist's words, meant to probe further but found his tongue stilled. He and Guy returned home, hearts heavy with dread. Guy promptly called Lin, recounting the tale from start to finish. Lin sighed. If it's doom, there's little escaping it. Guy replied, then we'll buy every cat in the village and banish them. No cats. No curse, right? Sister. Lin pondered long before answering slowly, that's the way. I suppose. But warn everyone, dig deep. Has anyone in the clan died lately? I see nothing amiss myself. Yet that master's words demand heed. He doesn't speak idly, what he says comes true. Don't be careless. Guy shook her head. Truly. No one's passed in our inner kin. Sure. Lin pressed. Adults aside, what of children? Check if some man strayed. Left a bastard out there. Any blood of your line counts, I'd wager it matters. That? Guy faltered. Our house no chance. But dung or coin? How do we probe without sowing mistrust? Fracturing us? It'd be a pity. A goo chain is dire. Lin warned. If you don't root it out, how do you kill it? Wait till it strikes. Swallowing your kin one by one. Before acting. Too late then. Isn't it? Lin's words echoed, gnawing at Guy's peace. She whispered to Feng, if it's not so. Don't be mad, but could one of you three have a child out there? Feng jolted. Why spout such wild nonsense? You can't toss that around. That's why I said don't rage if it's false. You know our clan's had no deaths in over 40 years. So why's the master so certain of a goo? He's no lightweight. Lin says he speaks only truth. Shouldn't we sniff around? If some fool brother sired a secret kid that's gone wrong, we'd know to fix it. You. I trust completely, no worries there. But how do I broach this with them? Feng groaned. If it's baseless, won't it shred our bond? That's why I say corner coy and dung alone. Feel them out. If it's real, we'll manage. Feng froze. A flicker crossing his face. What if? What? Guy pressed. You've seen something? He shook his head. No, probably not. I'm wondering about the young ones, could they be the sin? Who? Cone's crew. Guy scoffed. Doubt it. Our kids take after you, kind. Gentle? I can't see them sparking such a calamity. Who knows? Feng muttered. I trust myself. Not today's youth. If they've erred. Though? Could we settle it like Lin said? Find the truth first, then we'll plan. Just then, Hone strode in. Feng pulled him aside. Son. A man-to-man talk, can we share this? Hone tensed, his father's grave tone was new. He nodded. Following to a private room, Feng began, I built this life for you kids' future. If tragedy struck us sudden, what'd you think? Hone grinned, Father. If you've a question, just ask why skirt it. Fine, no hiding. I saw a master today, he says we've a goo. A goo? Hone laughed. Don't you need a death for that? No one's died lately. Feng nodded, exactly so, be straight, have you been reckless? Left any blood out there? Hone recoiled as if stung, no way. He swore he'd fathered no strays. Their talk stretched on no bastards among them. Feng exhaled, good, I'm eased. But I fret over Dung's and Koi's houses. Hone chuckled, if the uncles had secrets, the aunts would know. Their whips spoil, their wives rotten. I've tailed Uncle Koi for years, he's clean. Uncle Dung too, no worries there. Still. Feng pressed. If no one's strayed, where's this goo from? Hone tapped his forehead. Then gasped, what about Tung? Years back. Drunk? He bragged he'd lost control, went too far with a girl. True. Feng snapped. Dig into it, find her. Now. Probably not. Though? Hone backtracked. She married later. I heard. And Koi's boys the arm. Tuan arm, they blush at girls. No chance they'd sin like that. Feng? Swayed by Hone's logic. Still questioned each brother. All denied, strays back to square one. Truth was, the masters who claimed drove Feng to probe. Though deep down, he trusted his kin. All three brothers studied abroad. Built careers, shared a like mind, devoted to wives and kids. Folk whispered their wealth and power invited temptation, yet they stood firm. Land's children hunted for a lost relative, the goo's source, but found nothing. The old year slipped away. By Tet's 28th, they brought Lan home to celebrate with the clan. Her house held a tradition, no matter where her kin roamed. New Year's Eve meant gathering in the big house for the crossover. They'd stay from the 30th's dusk till noon of the 1st, visiting kin. Then scatter on the 2nd for greetings or in-laws. This year, no different, save they converged by the 28th. Feng tasked Dung with buying every village cat, exiling them to dodge the master's omen. He warned of a black cat heralding doom, but they purged all felines for safety. By night, no meows pierced the silence, cats gone. Lan had rallied robust, rosy-cheeked from weeks in care, though her legs faltered, confining her to a wheelchair. Pushed wherever she went. Her speech, once fluid, now stumbled, thick with occasional chokes. New Year's Eve. The clan huddled around tea, buzzing for the midnight turn. Guy, restless, felt her chest pound. Heat surged through her like a fever. She tugged Feng aside, husband. I'm uneasy since dawn. I've been aflame. Like a trance. My guts are roasting. Feng brushed it off. PFFD, you've slaved over the feast all day. Darting between kitchen and altar. No wonder you're sweating. Eldest daughter-in-law's burden. No, it's not that heat. she insisted. My innards burn tense. Suffocating. Enough, ready up. It's nearly time, he soothed. You're stewing over the master's words. That's all. Relax, Tets, for rest. He hustled to help Guy, and the others set the lavish offering in the yard for the crossover rite. Lan's clan always piled the New Year's Eve altar high. At midnight, as fireworks flared, Fung standing for all led the ceremony. A duty Lan once held, now passed to her eldest son in her frailty. Dressed sharp, Fung cleansed hands and face with leaf-steeped water, stepping out to ignite the incense. The flame barely caught when a thunderous crash erupted from the side house. All spun, startled. Meow. Meow? Meow? A massive black cat's eyes glinting green materialized, glaring at the offering. Quick as lightning, Dung snatched a stick, charging to drive it off. The cat, ambushed, bristled, yowling twice before lunging at the altar. Chaos erupted as this hulking beast upended the table, smashing the incense bowl to shards. Fung roared, "Damn this wretched cat! Where'd it spring from?" Dung, stick in hand, pursued the snarling fiend. It bolted into the main house, seeking escape. Tung grabbed a knife, "I'll gut it." Lam, watching the pandemonium unfold, froze speechless. As Tung charged, blade raised, she snapped awake, "Stop! No killing on New Year's Eve." Her voice, soft yet firm, pierced the din. Guy urged her sons, "Quick, chase it out." She dashed to the kitchen, scooping rice and salt to hurl after its fleeing shadow a ward against evil. The cat, stubborn, burrowed under the ancestral altar, hiding deep. Dung thrust a long pole beneath, jabbing till it streaked out, claws slashing at Tung. The knife slipped, gashing his foot, blood welled. Furious, he flung it at the cat. It leapt atop the altar, scattering offerings. Dung lunged to shield the incense, fearing its fall, but the cat, mistaking defense for attack, bared fangs, yowling defiance. Tung, thrice clawed and bleeding, seized Dung's stick, swinging a fatal blow. The cat's skull cracked. No cry escaped as it crumpled, blood pooling red across the floor. Chapter 7, a Tet clad in white mourning. Lam, seeing the blood, sprang up with a piercing scream, then crumpled to the floor. The ancestral incense bowl flared inexplicably, flames licking the air. Panic erupted, some stamped out the fire. Others rushed to Lan's side, while homes lit firecrackers to greet the new year. Lan's house rang with shouts, then the screech of tires as they sped her to the hospital. The ward, hushed on New Year's Eve as folk reveled elsewhere, stood near empty. Doctors examined her, then delivered grim news: deep coma. Fear gripped her kin. Fung pressed for hope, but the doctor shook his head, barring a miracle. She won't pull through. 3 hours later, she slipped away, leaving her brood behind. This time, her children refused the diagnosis twice before. She defied death's call. They carted her to another hospital, but the outlook dimmed. Staff urged them to prepare her rites. Her past resurrections, still fresh, fueled their denial. They begged medics to fight harder, but met only shaken heads. Guy phoned Lin, recounting the black cat's havoc at midnight. Lin sighed, "Doom's hard to dodge. Bring her home. Her passing aligns with heaven's will. Lin, alerted by Guy's call, had sensed the ill wind. Calculating Lan's death hour, she noted no goo clash her age, month, day, and time aligned with celestial departure. Her numbers up, Lin said. Natural, no cause for alarm. Fun? Recalling the exorcist's warning of a black cat heralding doom, left Lan with her siblings and sped to the master alone. Lin, hearing this, intervened. New Year's, why bring ill omens to another's door now? I'm out of moves. Feng pleaded. The master foretold this, I must know. Yet it's Tet. Lin faltered. I need answers, he insisted. Dialing the exorcist. The master answered swiftly, a cat stormed your home. As I foresaw. Feng spilled the tale. The master exhaled, calamities struck unavoidable. I know it's wrong to trouble you now, Feng said. But in desperation, I beg your mercy for my kin. It's the first. The master replied. Set it aside till the third, we'll reckon then. Your mother, as Lin said, went with heaven's tide. She's truly gone. Heaven's will brings no dread. But the goo, I can't trace its route. No way to pinpoint it. Feng pressed. Our clan's seen no death in over 40 years. That's the riddle. The master mused. I see a chain of graves ahead, goo-linked burials. Yet I'm no god to name the spirit tripping this curse. Find that goo soul. Hold a right to bind it, or doom piles on doom. Death's unending. On the first, as homes rejoiced in Tet reunion, Lan's house donned mourning white. Sobs whispered within, no loud wails dared disturb the village. By the third, word of her passing spread, her kin announced the rites. The rural chill held her body pristine from New Year's Eve to the third. As if merely asleep. That afternoon, amid kin and neighbors' grief, they encoffined her. Whispers swirled, the black cat's midnight raid a dire omen. Its shattering of the crossover incense sealed the master's fate. Tales twisted into eerie lore, some claimed Lan, thrice reborn, was a lord's chosen, summoned to serve beyond mortal coils, spared further human rebirth. I'd once asked Grandma about souls trailing lords or saints after death. She'd said many, marked by karma and merit, ascend to bliss if they perfect their earthly span, some to serve divine masters. She'd warned me, delve not too deep into the spirit realm, nor open the third eye, its curse clings life to life. True seers, she held, bless the world and reach paradise, unshackled from rebirth. False prophets, peddling faith for coin, heaps in 4 generations bear their underworld debt. Unending. This third death. Her kin still clung to miracle hopes. Feng summoned the exorcist for a rite. As Guy checked Lan's body, tucking paper money beneath the white shroud, the bananas on her belly quivered. Lan coughed hoarsely twice, flung off the cloth, and sat up. Guy recoiled, collapsing in shock. Go, Ost. Children shrieked as Lan stirred. Neighbors at the window, peering past the coffin planks, screamed, and bolted, kids toppling over each other in terror to flee first. That dread spectacle gripped Lan's home once more. Yet this time, she scanned the room, coffin, altar, and asked, why's it so crowded? Tet, yet all this white? Like a funeral. Koi seized her hand. Weeping like a child, mother. We hear you again, mother. Kin swarmed the main room, encircling her. Tears of joy mingling with cries relief at her living. Scolding voice. The exorcist, witnessing her stunning revival, stood dumbstruck. A whisper grazed his ear, she's back or a demon's in her. He glared, her fortunes vast. Lamb? Struck by a memory. Gasp, Shwen, where's my Shwen? Is he home? Bewildered. She eyed the decor. Shwen. You didn't return? Did hungry ghosts snatch you? Oh. Shwen, come back. Shwen? Koi blinked, I'm here. Mother, what's wrong? Tuan An rushed to her. Dropping to the floor. She clutched his head. Sobbing, thank heavens he saved you. I feared you trapped. Lost. Next time. Don't roam too late, ghosts might grab you. Patting her chest. She sighed, safe at last. I thought you'd met harm, that this wake was yours. Safe, thank heavens. Koi soothed, a nightmare. Mother, not real. Then who died for this funeral? She pressed. Eyeing her shroud. Voice trembling, unless it's you all. Me. Guy cut in, mother. You were shocked, your soul drifted. We called the master to summon it back. You're awake, we're overjoyed. We've wept hoarse for days. Lan's gaze swept her kin. Piecing it together, me. My soul left my flesh. How long? Since New Year's Eve, now the 3rd. Lan replied. Memory flashed midnight's chaos. Her eyes welled, she sniffled, fate's thread can't be dodged. Kin consoled her, neighbors cheered. Aiding a swift dismantling of the rites. Dung rallied all to erase the funeral, another resurrection. Word flew, a marvel unmatched then. Rural tales of the dead rising weren't rare. But thrice unheard of. This 3rd return. Lan thrived, walking freely. Limbs untwisted from her stroke. She turned devout. Haunting temples. Eating vegan. Urging her kin to follow. Her chatter dwindled, spare moments found her with Buddhist chants. No more sleepwalking or midnight quirks, her children mused, her piety one divine shield. Sparing her doom. Time rolled to her true end, a summer day in 2005. When my grandmother still lived. She could hear the Hmong cry and aerial wails signaling death's approach. Father and aunt too caught that mournful keen when village funerals loomed. Grandma called it the underworld's herald reapers, summoning souls to the depths. Others said it was spirits dragged off, wailing for flesh left behind, or kin in anguish louder for near ones or wronged dead. Their cries piercing. Whatever its source, the Hmong meant a shroud awaited. I asked, could Lan burst her coffin again? Grandma? No, this doom's fixed, she said. Her kin's great fate might dodge death, but living guilt harder to flee. Escape comes from past lives' vast merit. Why does her death curse her kin? I pressed. Like our neighborhood's death chains. She mumbled. Words lost. Then fetched a tattered Vietnamese book, 92 or 93 vintage, handing it to me, marked today's date on the cover. I obeyed. Then calculated Lan's celestial signs at her passing rat. Dragon? Rooster tied to her age. Month. Day, etched in memory. Matching my siblings. Done. She said, no goo clash but doom. Vast doom. How do you know? Some truths burden the heart. She replied. Knowing much isn't always good, curiosity. Less so? Back to Lan's tale, her death's third rites. Delayed 3 days. Her prominent brood drew throngs, hopes lingered for another miracle. Lan and Thone kept vigil, praying she'd wake. Neighbors whispered of owl cries, nightly harbingers of ill. Some jested, owls or doves. All sing why love one, dread the other. Yen replied, the night before we slept with her, midnight, an owl screeched at her window, woke us all. I heard it too. Another chimed? Sleepless nights, maybe one's lost here. Yen wiped tears, Dung shut the window, met its blazing eyes on the grapefruit tree. A staring owl. Village crones gasped, an omen, owls peering in mean death. So she left us, Yen sobbed. She slept sound, gone by dawn. Sudden. She was hale. Sharp. Ease your grief, they soothed. Old age. Heaven's call swift. Painless. Her blessing? 3 days post-death. The funeral commenced. After the eulogy, kin knelt by her casket, white mourning cloaks draped all. The house awash in sorrow. That eve, mourners streamed till 10 p.m. When horns and drums fell silent per rural custom. Guests thinned, only kin and locals lingered. Youth stayed, as village tradition held, playing cards through the night, a contrast to city wakes. Lan's home buzzed with company. Past midnight, lads moved the coffin in its precious wood heavy, taxing their strength, lifting and setting it per right. Done. They gambled and ate porridge till dawn, guarding the bereaved. Inside, Lan clung to the casket, voiceless from days of weeping. She whispered, Thone, stay with her, I need fun. Thone took her place, but the coffin seared her touch. Why's it so hot? She gasped. Tongue. Entering? Tested the lid, yanking back, hot, too hot. A shiver hit him, recalling a dream trapped in that coffin. Scorched. Waking bruised and soiled. I dreamed this heat. He told Thone. So real, foreshadowing. Fetch your uncles now, she urged. This isn't right. Home. At the door. Shrugged, too many candles. Summer heat normal. Aunt? Or firewood holds warmth better. Thone rose, watch her, I'll tell them. Steps away. Tongue's cry shattered the air, fire. It's burning. Chapter 8, Gasoline or Water. Tongue's cries jolted everyone, they spun to see the funeral chamber ablaze. Flames roared, devouring all in their greedy embrace. Quick! Put it out. Where's the extinguisher? Koi bellowed, you two, what are you doing? Standing there gawking at the fire. Tongue and Hone tore at shrouds, thrashing them against the inferno. What the blaze? Emboldened, surged wider. Neighbors rushed buckets, dousing water to quell it. Lan's wooden pillar house floor to rafters fed the fire's hunger. Draped in mourning cloth and banners, water splashed in torrents. Villagers hauled a pump, blasting the relentless flames. Schwen and the Arn wielded extinguishers, Schwen battling to shield his grandmother's coffin. Face taut, Grandma. I'll get you out, I won't let the fire hurt you. He worked and prayed, pleading for mercy. Soon, the blaze yielded. Candles? Shrouds? Fabrics all ash. Miraculously, the house stood unconsumed. Fire gone. Water and soot swamped the floor. Exhausted, faces smudged, they slumped. Thone flung herself at the coffin, wailing, "Mother! Why such a cruel fate? Even in death. No peace, our sins are too great." Fung pulled her back, "Careful, it's scalding still," Lan sobbed. Urging the youths, "Check her body, did that cursed fire touch her?" Fung halted them, "No one touch it yet." Dung gripped his arm, "We need a new coffin, this one's charred, how can she lie in it?" Fung tasked Dung with finding a replacement fast. Kin scrambled, tidying the chaos rural wakes draw crowds. And their hands made quick, clean work. Once settled, Fung probed, "How'd it start? Who saw it first?" Thone spoke, "Me, the coffin felt unnaturally hot. I left the boys to watch. Went to fetch you but steps away. Tung yelled fire. It leapt from the shrouds up there." Tung nodded, "I saw it spark right from Grandma's coffin." "How does a coffin just blaze up?" Hone ventured, "Maybe a candle tipped with caught. Spread to the altar. I saw it flare huge. Then rage outward." Koi tapped the lid, musing, "Strange. A candle alone, how'd it ignite so fierce? Is this thing coated in some heat trap?" Tung added, "It was hot before it burned, ask Aunt Thone. Then we must move her." Koi pressed. "This heat could harm her body." Fung cautioned, "We can't swap coffins on a whim. She was encoffined yesterday, changing needs a seer's word, not ours." He dialed Lin. Voice tight? She gasped, "Did it burn her?" "We've sent Dung for a new one," Fung said. "It's scorched. But we haven't opened it, still sealed." Lin calculated, "Wait past 3 a.m. to shift her. Add paper money. As I told Guy. And a knife, don't forget." Dung returned with a fresh coffin just after 3. They gathered to unseal Lan's, but the lid clung like glue, defying all force. Vol.6 heaved the stone-heavy box lower for leverage. As they shifted it, Tung's grip slipped, tilting it sharply, nearly crashing it down. Dung snapped, "Clumsy again. Drop it, and you'd profane her." Tung whispered, "My hands froze, couldn't hold on. It's blazing hot, where's the cold? Try where I grabbed, feel it." Dung glared, silent, and helped lower it. Still, it wouldn't budge. A neighbor fetched hammer and blade, prying with brute force. The lid cracked open, a sharp, acrid stench, singed and sour, assaulted them. Lan's body lay blackened, as if charred, yet her clothes pristine. They lifted her to the new coffin, swift and reverent. Fung ordered the youths, "Take that burned husk to the garden's end, douse it with gas and torch it clean." 4 lads strained under its weight, grimacing. They hauled it out. Tung and Hone splashed gasoline, striking a flame. Fire swallowed it whole, roaring high. Tung gasped, "It's burning just like before." Hone said, "I saw it flare atop the lid, then hit the altar. If it burned like this, gas-soaked now, she'd be ash inside." Shuen murmured, "Did you see her face? Her hands? Scorched, I nearly retched at that charred stink." Vu, Thone's son, puzzled, "Where'd her body burned? But her clothes? Untouched, even the shroud? Spotless?" The Arn shuddered, her nails blood-tinged. "Still gives me chills." Tung scoffed, "Really? Dead day's blood on nails? You saw?" The Arn nodded, "Maybe. But when Tung slipped, tipping it, I felt it too ice cold. Like a slab." Tung raised, scratched. "Bloody hands, see." It froze me. I clawed to hold it. The Arn's eyes widened at Tongue's palms. How's your hand like that? They glanced. Minor scrapes. A trickle of blood. What's scary about that? The Arn faltered, shaking off a mad thought, staring at the blazing coffin. It lingered, unyielding to flame. They stood watch, wary of spreading fire. Schwen's eyes glinted. Who's that inside? Tongue snapped. You're seeing things. No one's there. There is. Look, it's moving. A person. Hone squinted at Schwen. His eyes blazed red, mirroring the fire. He nudged Vu. Get inside. Rest. You're warm. Horns come at 5 a.m. Grab an hour. Vu waved off. You go. I'm jet lagged. Awake nights. Drowsy days. Tongue hefted a bucket. Water doused the embers later. Most shuffled off. Vu and Hone stayed, guarding the pyre. At last, it crumbled to ash, flames fading to red glowing coals. Hone swayed, clutching his head, collapsing. A voice whispered, douse it. Water's ready. No need. Coals are dying. Pour it. Smoldering coals flare fast. Could torch the lot. Vu, returning, caught Hone muttering, who are you talking to? Hone blinked. Where'd you go? I thought you were here. Don't say you're sleep talking. I sent you for water. Hone grabbed the bucket then froze. Sniffing, smell gas. So strong. How? Vu nodded. Gas. Sure, but from earlier. Fire's out. Must be. Step back. I'll douse it and check with the ants. Hone lifted the bucket. His hands shook. Icy dread seeping through him. It slipped, splashing wide. Flames erupted, racing toward him. He stood transfixed, legs bound by unseen chains, staring as fire lunged. Vu shouted, run. It's all gas. Hone heard every word yet couldn't move. Eyes locked on the blaze. Fire. A person. Burning. A person, he stammered. The fire surged. Vu, quick, grabbed a sandbag, beating it down, blocking its path. He yanked Hone back. Want to die? Without this sand, you'd be ash. Wide tongue. Give us gas. Hone snapped awake, pointing. A person in the fire. You're mad. Where? You nearly burned. No, I saw it clear. Where's Tongue? Vu raged. Can't tell gas from water. Fuming, Vu dragged a shaken Hone inside to confront Tongue. They met Dung by the garden. Fire out. Eat some chicken porridge. Horns arrive in an hour. Vu glared. Where's your tongue? He handed Hone a gas bucket to douse it. Dung frowned. What? Gas on fire. That's suicide. Hone said. He gave it. Said douse the coals. I thought water. Dropped it. And it flared. Dung's ears buzzed. Face purpling. Mix up gas and water. Impossible. Kin rushed over, alarmed. Vu insisted. Tongue handed it plain as day. Yen puzzled. No, he left with Schwen and the Arn to rest at my place. How'd he return unseen? Dung pressed. True. He's there. Swear it. He took my keys. 3 on 1 bike. I set their alarm for 5:30. Vu countered. No, he gave Hone the bucket before that. Schwen and the Arn were still around. Dung called Schwen. Why so early? Horns here. No sleeping. Schwen yawned. Over by 5. Where's Tongue? Out cold. Where's this going? Did he give Hone gas to douse the fire? Gas. It was water. We were there. Wake him. Schwen roused, tongue groggy. To the phone? Dung barked, did you give home gas for the coals? Tongue blinked, gas on fire. I'm not a kid. I doused the coffin all sore. Dung switched to speaker. Vu snapped, you gave home gas just now. Tongue balked, why frame me? One gas can for the generator, I used it all on the coffin, what's left? Vu pressed Hone, speak wasn't it Tongue? Hone's mind churned, he knew who'd handed it. Fung cut in, enough misunderstanding. Tongue wouldn't harm you, leftover gas from the coffin. Grabbed by mistake. Drop it. Eat. Rest. And have a big day tomorrow. Vu stood firm, I'm not wrong, I saw Tongue. Flesh and blood. Why'd I lie? No one douses fire with gas mix-up. That's all, Fung soothed. Change. Hone reeks of gas. Hone glanced at Fung, and a burned figure flared in his mind. Someone died burned, he blurted. Collapsing. Chapter 9, The Wooden Box Lands House. Rocked by a night of unrelenting shocks. Spiraled further into chaos as Hone collapsed unconscious. Fung? Face drained of color. Barked orders to carry him to a room. Koi pressed hard on Hone's philtrum. Shouting, step back, give him air. Find oil, rub his head to wake him. Guy snatched a bottle. Wafting it under his nose. Massaging his temples. Her lips trembled, wake up. Son, don't scare me. We're in morning chaos, come back. Soon? Hone stirred? Eyes opening vacant. Staring at the ceiling. A faint smirk curled his lips. Guy. Beside him. Paled her hand, slapped his cheek lightly. Snap out of it, you're frightening me. Her dread stemmed from Memoryland's own lifeless gazes, and eerie grins haunted her. Seeing Hone mirror that chilled her soul. An image she couldn't shake. His teeth ground together. A grating creak. Eyes bulged. He clawed his face, nails drawing blood. Guy and Fung lunged. Pinning him. He thrashed. Snapping the bamboo mat, splinters flew as his kicks shattered it. Thone. Watching. Shivered, he's possessed. Vu fetched cold water. We'll douse him, drive it out. Lamb? Entering with hot porridge for Hone. Froze as he writhed, her bowl crashed. Steaming across the floor. What? What's happening? Why is he like this? Fung roared, rope tie him. He's lost, can't hear us. As he spoke, Hone's teeth sank into Fung's hand. Growling low. Fung winced. Paling. Vu slapped a cold cloth on Hone's face, he shuddered. Bolting upright. Blinking? He scanned the room, where's Grandma? Mom? Guy? Stunned. Stammered, are you lucid? Why ask that? What hit you, why bite your father? Hone eyed Fung's bleeding hand, his teeth marks, stark confusion creasing his brow. Clutching his head. He slumped, blood. Blood? Why blood? Fung patted his back, calm down, I'm fine. Just a scratch. I know it wasn't you. Hone lifted his gaze to Vu. Grandma told me find her box in the cabinet. Did you? Vu gaped, sleep talking. She's gone, what box? I don't know. Hone sighed, I know she's dead, she just came. Told me. Fine, I'll get it myself. He staggered to Lan's room. Rummaging her cabinet, upending it. Yet no box emerged. Kin exchanged wary glances. Guy dialed Lin. Spilling the tale. Lin frowned, strange sounds like possession. How's he now? He's hunting some box for her. Trail him, see what he does. If he finds it, check inside. I think Lan's spirit truly spoke to him. But he's wild like he's mad. Watch him, could be a spirit. Still no recent deaths in the clan. Unburied. None. Sister, we've asked everyone. But odd, he said someone burned. A sign. We must dig deeper, Lin urged. One possession might mean more, report anything odd. Guy followed Hone to Lan's room. He tore through the cabinet. Then sank silently to the floor. Feng knelt. What had you dreamed, son? Hone, eyes down, murmured. Grandma came, asked if Vu brought her box. I'm looking, can't find it. Phone lingered. Then ventured, the wooden box, right? Hone leapt up. Yes. You've seen it. Where? Give it here. Phone frowned. Why do you need it? Just hand it over. His face twisted, eyes wild. Desperate. Phone's skin prickled under his stare. She grabbed a stool by Lan's bed. Lifting a wooden box, this it. Hone lunged, Phone yanked it back. Tossing it to Vu, put it on the Buddha altar. Vu caught it. Bewildered. As Hone pounced. Seizing it. His teeth gnashed, eyes flared with hate at Phone. He tore it open. A scream ripped from him, frenzied. Hands clawing his face. The box hit the floor, a tiny brass Buddha tumbled out. Qin froze. Stunned. As Hone writhed, Guy moved to help. Phone signaled, stop. She scooped up the statue. Advancing. Hone cowered. Scooting to the cabinet. Then slammed his head at the bed's edge. Feng dove. Cushioning the blow, pain whitening his face. Phone yelled, hold him, I'll banish it. It's possessed him, don't let it hurt him. Feng pinned him. Phone thrust the statue before Hone. Foul spirit, whoever you are, this isn't your place, begone. Hone's eyes bulged. Mouth gaping in terror. His struggles weakened, he slumped. Still. Guy, witnessing, stood speechless. Vu rushed to hoist Hone onto the bed. Asking, Mom, how do you know this? That he was possessed? Phone shook her head. I didn't, Grandma told me before she died. She foresaw spirits stirring at her passing, told me to hide this box. Slip the Buddha inside. I told the exorcist, he said keep it secret. Guy paled. You knew he was possessed. Who's this spirit? How'd it breach our home? I don't know, Phone said. She warned me long ago, I just followed. Ask the Master and Lin tomorrow. The tale, Lan predicting this chaos, staggered them. Lan asked, she knew. But why Hone? Guy shivered. Anointing Hone with oil. Praying Buddha's mercy. A thought struck, gods, what if that spirit possessed him to douse himself with gas to burn him? Dung bolted up, possible. A ghost driving him to torch himself. Vu was there? Vu recalled, I was with him, stepped inside for water. 7 or 8 minutes. When I returned, he was squatting, muttering alone, dazed when I called. Guy wailed, oh, Hone. What sin did you commit for this haunting? She urged, Feng, call the Master now. If needed. We exorcise tomorrow. Koi balked, a funeral's on banished spirits now. What'll mourners think? If it's real, we must, Guy snapped. Your son's safe, you don't care. Mine's like this, I act. Better sure than risking all for face. Maybe that fire was its doing. Hone stirred? eyes fluttering. Voice faint, what's happening? Why's everyone here? Vu leaned in. Pointing to himself, who am I? Hone squinted, don't tease. Little uncle. Vu nodded, that's him. Remember anything? Hone touched his stinging face, ouch, why's it hurt? Guy opened her mouth, then a voice cut in, he was possessed. All turned, the exorcist stood at the door. Nodding, seems you managed without me. Koi and Feng ushered him to a table. He spoke slowly, Thone called, I came. Though dawn's near. Tell me everything. Feng, Koi, and Dung recounted the night's havoc, the coffin blaze. Hone's possession? The master listened. Silent. Lost in thought. The brothers fidgeted. Interrupting. At length, he said, a spirit lurks here, I've walked this path years. Not days. Yet I see no clear anomaly. The dead are dead to know the truth. Ask Lamb. Koi gaped, she's gone how? She lived? Nothing stirred? The master replied. She died. Chaos loomed. This spirit seeks her wooden box, bring it. Let's probe. Thone paled, but it held only jewelry, gold trinkets, I stowed them away. Fetch them, he urged. Gold might speak. Thone glanced at her brothers, Feng nodded, get it all. She retrieved a pouch from the altar cabinet. Spilling bracelets. Necklaces. Earrings onto a tray, mere ounces of gold. Modest for Lan's wealth. The master scanned it. Waved it off. Koi asked, see anything? Gifts we gave her worn in life. Nothing odd. He mused. But why does spirit crave this box for trinkets? Doesn't it strike you strange? Guy emerged with Hone. His scratched face wincing, why me? Master. I never believed in ghosts, now this madness I can't recall. The master's eyes glinted, when you lost yourself what lingered? Faces. Voices? Hone pondered, at the garden. Tongue's voice, douse it. Then flames, I saw a man. Thrashing in fire. I froze. Terrified? More. Father Flames crowned his head. Then I blacked out. The master inhaled. Ein Feng. Then Hone's taut face. He sighed, I fear the fire's about to truly flare. Chapter 10, What is the fire goo? Feng's heart sank at the exorcist's words. Urgency seizing him. Master. You've uncovered something. Haven't you? What does fire flaring mean? The master replied. Voice heavy, there's a thing I don't know if you'll believe it. I've only heard tales from my teachers. Never faced it myself. It's a terror beyond measure. Capable of erasing an entire lineage. My master called it the fire goo. Faces around the room blanched. Dread etching every line as the words fire goo hung in the air. Lan's voice quivered, fire goo. Mother mentioned it several times. What is it? The exorcist shook his head, I can't say precisely. My teacher said it burns everything, engulfs what it hates in a sea of flame. It strikes slow or sudden, torching a family whole. Some clans vanish in a single night. Others, it picks off one by one, savoring their agony as kin watch. Helpless. It's the fire goo, death by fire. Guy's face drained of blood, what is it? Then? How do we stop it? Master. You must have a way. Feng steadied her, calm down. I've heard of linked burials, but if it's a goo, there's a fix. Right? Master. The master nodded, all things have a cure. with linked burials. We find the dead who tripped the goo. Trap their spirits done. This fire goo mirrors that. But the snag is we don't know which spirit sparked it. Phone. Silent till now. Spoke, mother. Alive. Named the fire goo often. Once. I found her dazed, asked why. She said it's not for daughters. Only sons can help. Did she mean my brothers could unravel it? The master's gaze darkened. I fear her sons face a calamity hard to escape. Like linked burials. Guy's panic surged. Hone had nearly burned. Saved only by Vu's quick hand. He blurted of someone dying in flames, pointed to fire crowning Feng's head. She clasped her hands. Pleading, I beg you. Master, your wisdom. Your skill save us. I regret I don't fully grasp it, he sighed. What it is. How it strikes, I need the death that sparked this goo in your clan. Feng insisted, we've searched, truly. No one's died in our line. Only mother lies unburied in her coffin. Her passing aligns with celestial drift, no goo clash. The master said. Then no goo death. No linked burials right. Yet I see your clan marked by goo. He countered. Could I be wrong? Without the dead. We're blind? Linked burials are simple, this fire goo. Far worse. Dread cloaked them all. Schwen? The arm? And tongue arrived. Greeting the master before shuffling off for breakfast. His eyes followed. Deep and unreadable. Guy. Sharp-eyed. Caught it, master? You seemed troubled just now, can you tell us? He shook his head. Perhaps age dulls me, some things elude me now. Focus on the rites. After a week. We'll revisit this. Feng hesitated, but Hone last night. Possessed? Raving, any remedy? With a fresh death. The yin weighs heavy. The master said. Late nights. Exhaustion, spirits pray easy. I'll give him an exorcism charm, burn it. Drink it all. He drew a red triangle paper. Scribbled symbols. And handed it to Hone? Hone winced, never a believer in ghosts. Yet last night shifted him. A world unseen now loomed. Especially his near self-immolation with gas. He took the charm. Thumbing its edge. Guy urged, do it or that spirit returns. He lingered. Then fetched a lighter. The flame flared red. Then eerie green as it consumed the paper. Ashes drifted onto a steel tray. He swept them into water. Swirling it grey. Staring. He grimaced. Guy pressed, drink all of it. It works? Really? He balked. Makes me gag. Damn it, she insisted. I'll cook noodles to chase it. Pinching his nose. He gulped, tears welled as it clawed his throat. Guy patted his back, good big swig. It's done. I drank worse. Lin once mashed worms for me. Ashes. Nothing. He forced it down. Stomach roiling. Guy brought chicken noodles to mask the taste. Vu. Finishing breakfast. Asked, feeling clear. Recall last night. Hone shook his head, blank, no visions. Just fire, a figure dancing in it. Wreathed in flames. Terrifying? Vu grinned, never saw ghosts overseas, no shamans like here. But Nyok An knows a Guy spiritual ace. AIDS police cases. Hone frowned, the West buys that. Not superstition, science. Like I Ching. Not our hocus pocus. I Ching? Hone mused. First I've heard. Come visit, Boo said. Nyok Arn'll hook you up. He hypnotizes, unlocks dreams. Way sharper than this master vague. Hedging. I don't trust him. Then explain my rampage. Boo scratched his head, dunno, never seen it. Lan's kin. Prominent, and wealthy. Drew throngs of mourners. A day past guests still poured in. Her children greeted wave after wave. Wreaths lined 2 long rows from house to road, too many. Forcing the funeral crew to cart some off the space. Another day ended, peace held. The master picked a prime hour for burial tomorrow. Spurring last visits. By 11 p.m. the house quieted. King and neighbors. Weary from sleepless nights. Sagged. Fung urged rest for tomorrow's rites. Close relatives stayed. Prepping feast, rural custom demanded it. With Lan's stature. Guests swelled 300 funeral trays from eulogy to burial taxed them all. Caterers cooked. But kin pitched in on small tasks. Near midnight? The power snapped, darkness swallowed the house. Dung. Mid-talk with fun about tomorrow's band. Blinked as it died. Tongue. He called. Check the generator, no storm. Why's it out? Tongue dashed for a spare flashlight, gone. His lighter sparked futilely candles. As if alive. Hid when needed. Smacking his lips. He lifted a votive candle from Lan's coffin. Inching inside. Eyes. Tuned to electric glow. Strained in the thick dark, the faint wick barely pierced it. He crept. Groping the way. His vision blurred astigmatism. Maybe. Dimming the candle's aid. His hand brushed something soft, shivers raced up his spine. He swung the light, nothing. Scanning? He croaked, anyone here? Behind? A rustle stirred. His legs rooted. Breath held. He whipped around, empty. Save the altar's flickering wicks outside. Come here. Come to Grandma. A whisper grazed his ear. Eyes darted. Heart hammered. Bolting for the door. A hand slammed his shoulder. The candle crashed. Its frail flame snuffed out. Ghost? He screamed. Footsteps thundered in. Dung's voice cut through. Why are you yelling? Ghost in there. His hulking frame buckled. Crashing down. Dung flicked his phone's light. Ghosts where? I sent you for the generator, why are you in her room shrieking? Tongue scrambled up. Stammering, Grandma, I heard her call. I wanted the spare lamp. It's in the living room on the table. But I didn't see it. Thought someone stashed it here. There's a ghost, I felt it. Dung snapped, enough nonsense up. Cut the grid breaker and I'll start the generator. Tongue bolted out. Dung stooped for the fallen candle and a chill gripped him. Rising. He glimpsed green eyes glaring from the window, gooseflesh erupted. Like that owl's stare the night Lan died. He aimed his phone's beam away in a flash. Stunned. He turned to leave, then those eyes streaked past. Darting to Lan's cabinet. Frowning, am I seeing things? What moves that fast? He raised the light. Stepping to check beneath. One step. And a crash echoed from the garden. Tongue yelled, grids off. Started. Dad. Too dark, nobody sees. Dung abandoned the search. Hurrying to the generator room. Chapter 11. Dung gripped the spare lamp. Hastening to the generator room. Yanking the starter cord. Power outages plagued Lan's area. So he rigged a gasoline generator quieter than the diesel ones folk here favored for emergencies like this. He tugged the cord. Pausing, Tongue grid breaker off. Tongue shouted back, "Done. Dad. Generator breakers set, fire it up." "Step down, I'm starting it." Tongue hopped off the chair. Away from the panel. He knew this set up cold whenever Lan's house went dark. He or Dung raced over to spark the machine. Dung pulled hard. Repeatedly nothing. Sweat beaded. He growled, "Tongue. Check it, why won't it start? I'm soaked pulling this damn thing." Tongue darted in. Taking over grimacing, "Why's it dead now?" Koi poked his head in, out of gas. "Oil full." "Filled it myself," Tongue said. 5 liters oil's fine too. "Dad just changed it." "Double check," Koi urged. "No power. It's stifling pitch black." He muttered. Stepping out to catch a breeze, the tarped house trapped heat like a kiln. Dung and Tongue fussed over the stubborn machine, it wouldn't roar. Schwen rolled his motorbike in. Its headlights slicing through the yard and main room. Lan and Thone sat vigil by Lan's coffin. Tuan and Tu, Lan's daughters, slumped beside her. Whining, "Why'd the power die? Mom. It's sweltering. Grandma's been gone days, won't she smell without it?" "Sleep," Lan said. "Tomorrow's brutal." Thone nudged, "Use Grandma's room windows, catch the breeze." Tuan balked, "There. I'm scared." "Of what?" Lan snapped. "It's just Grandma, go. Sleep. Early burial tomorrow." Tuan pouted. Tongue said he slept there, dreamed he was locked in a coffin. Woke up smeared like charcoal. Creepy. Tui piled on, "And Hone got possessed yesterday, what if that ghost grabs us weaklings?" Thone sighed, "Nonsense, don't want her room." Crash at Dung's. Voo. Strolling in. Grinned, "Grandma told ghost stories, spirits stuffing folks in cabinets." Family searched. Found them gnawing their own flesh. Bleeding out. "You heard those? Right? Gross." Tuan yelped. Voo. "That's awful, no sleep for us now. We're staying here." Voo flashed a toothy grin. Teasing. Then ambled to Lan's room, "Fine, I'll crash. Up all night, eyes won't stay open." The girls trailed. Tiptoeing. Voo stopped short, they rammed his back. "Ow. Why'd you freeze? Thought you were too scared." "You're here, we're good," Tuan said. "You take Grandma's bed, we'll take Mom's over here." Voo shrugged. Shoving the door open. The room loomed dark. Faint candlelight from the coffin seeping in. Used to shadows. They groped to the beds. Tuan and Tui claimed their usual spot. Voo sprawled on Lan's. A soft breeze whispered outside. They lay there, none slept. Beyond. Tongue and Kin hauled Dung's generator over. Swapping the dud. Voo. Prone. Felt sleep tug. He'd meant to rest. Not doze, but it claimed him fast. Soon? Snores rumbled from his side. Tuan grabbed Tui. Voo's out, said he wasn't tired. Now he's thunder. Tui ignored her. Plugging in earbuds, drowning Voo's snores and the creeping dread chilling her bones. Creak. Creak. The wardrobe groaned, Tuan's ears pricked. She glimpsed someone shutting it. Who? No one was here when we came in. Voo's tale of flesh-eating ghosts clawed her mind. She yanked Tui, "Wake up." Tui swatted. Mumbling, Let me sleep, lie still. A figure neared their bed. Tuan bolted up. Phone-like trembling Fuang. She thumped her chest. Gods. Aunt? You scared me. When did you get here? Fuang didn't answer. Easing down beside them. Tuan nudged Tui. Scoot, make room. Tui shifted, then froze. Icy dread climbing from toes to scalp. She shivered. Why is it cold? Tuan. Cold. Tuan scoffed. I'm melting. She settled. Eyes shut. Moments later. Vu thrashed. Choking himself. Tuan leapt. Shaking him. Wake up, what's wrong? Vu's eyes fluttered. Where's Grandma? Dreaming. He clutched his head. Nightmare horrid. Locked in a coffin, burned. How'd you know? You too. No, Aunt Fuang told me. Fuang? When? Just now, she's beside us. Said you dreamed that? No way, Vu said. She's with Hon Hanoi. Picking up Nyokan. Back at 3 a.m. She said. Tuan shook her head. She was here with me and Tui. Ask her. Lights flickered on. Tuan glanced. Tui trembled. Clutching her arm. Tui. Wake up, what's wrong? Tui's voice broke. Burn? Burn. Burn it? Tuan slapped her. What's burning? Snap out of it. Tui jolted awake. Shaking. Bewildered. What's happening? Why's it freezing? Vu laughed. Freezing. I'm drenched, fans cool now. Sweat soaked. Tui's teeth chattered. So cold. Where's Fuang? Tuan asked. Tui blinked. How'd I know? I slept by you. But she was here beside us. When? I didn't see her. Tuan. Doubting. Dashed out. Mom. Where's Aunt Fuang? Lan replied, with Hon Hanoi. Fetching Nyok An since evening. Then who left Grandma's room? No one, Lan said. Phone and I've been here, nobody's passed. Tuan shuddered. Then. Who lay beside me? Phone cut in. Just you three went in, no one else. We've watched 20 minutes. Tops. See? Tui said. No, Fuang, you dreamed. Sis? No, she shut the wardrobe. Lay with us. I told Tui to scoot. I moved, Tui said. But it was just you, I was awake. Only Vu slept. Enough, Lan said. Dun's got power sleep. Tuan balked. No, I'll stay with you. She refused rest. Vu crawled back to Lan's bed. Outside. Kin slurped midnight porridge for strength. Vu yawned. Flopping face down, sleep took him. A storm brewed, he jolted up. Slamming the window shut. Heck. Coo-oo. Coo-oo. An owl's cry pierced the night. Vu flinched. Scanning for its source. Nothing. Wind howled, he bolted the window. He lay. Mulling the owl. Then sank into sleep. Click. The door creaked, he started. Cold rain wind gusted in. Chilling him. Why's it open? He reached to shut it, a face loomed outside. He recoiled. The box. Find my box. Grandma's voice, unmistakable. Grandma, what box? Why are you out there? Come in. The wooden one with the mirror. Find it quick. For me. The jewelry box. Find it before midnight. Day after tomorrow or doom falls. Fire burns. Mom hid it, I'll get her to the mirror, find it. Or all burn. You must. Come in, it's raining. cold, tell me inside. No, I can't enter. I'm going find it. The mirror box. Remember? Her eyes flared, flames devoured them, spreading across her face. She screamed, fire raged. Fueled by her cries. Rain poured, yet she burned. Drew lunged for the door, its knob resisted. Locked tight. Help. Open it, anyone, he yelled. Heavy footsteps thudded behind. He turned, a charred figure stood. Blood oozing. Reeking of scorched coal. A blackened hand grabbed him, he kicked it, caught his leg. Crack. Pain seared his arm, broken. He roared. Collapsing. Staring up. The figure loomed. Who are you? Why? He gasped. It grinned ghastly. Chilling. Lights died. Its body glowed red, hot eyes, smoldering embers. You're the fire goo, aren't you? No answer? He tried, rising, strength fled. Eyes shut. He steadied himself. Painful. Helpless. It rasped. One by one you all feel it. Sparks dripped from its mouth, igniting the floor. It laughed, flames poured, searing Vu's numb arm. He screamed, heat, agony consuming him. He faded. Chapter 12. A long while later, something soft and heavy settled on his stomach. Vu stirred, eyes cracking open. A cat. He wondered, how'd a cat get here? Its green eyes round, unblinking, bore into him. He tried shooing the black feline, but his arms wouldn't budge. Memory jolted Grandma. He twisted toward the window. Coo-oo. Coo-oo. The owl's cry pierced the silence, his heart leapt, nearly bursting free. Where's Grandma? The fire goo. He strained to rise, pain pinned him. Limbs screaming. Immobile? Click. The door swung open. Feng loomed. Lu tried calling out, his voice failed. Feng neared. Studying his face, it's time. The rite begins. Sacrifice him to the fire goo, we'll survive. Home. Schwen? The arm and tongue closed in. The cat sprang from Vu's belly into a stranger's arms, a figure half charred. Hair veiling the rest, masking their face. The four hoisted him. His body stiffened, paralyzed. He willed his lips apart, sealed tight. They carried him from the bedroom, straight to a coffin identical to Grandma's. His mind sharpened, eyes wide with helpless terror. Phone clutched Nyok arm, sobbing his name. Dung wept. Feng's voice boomed, in coffin. They dropped him inside. A white shroud draped him, stopping at his nose, leaving his eyes bare. He stared, desperate, at kin encircling him. Feng? Coy? Dung cold, unfeeling gazes met his. No pity. The lid slammed shut. Hammers pounded, nails each strike a deafening clang. Why? Burying me alive. He fought to thrash, to scream nothing. Tears streamed, despair swallowing him. The coffin rocked, they were moving him. Where? Time stretched, then heat crept in. Soft moans rose beside him, swelling to blood-curdling shrieks. The fire goo's voice rasped, burn. Blaze? Torch it all for me. He was burning alive. Why? A living offering to the fire goo. Perhaps his family trading him for their survival. With his last shred of strength, he begged the heavens for rain torrents to quench the savage flames. Why are you out cold? Pissing the bed. Get up. Nyok An's sharp voice snapped him awake. He blinked, her face flushed. Scolding, wake up already. Gasping. Heart racing. He sucked in air, just a dream, God. That was awful. He turned to her, you're back. What time is it? Past 3 a.m. Grandpa. Change gross. Realizing he'd wet himself in terror. Shame burned. He lurched to rise, his body locked. Numb. Nyok An, my limbs are stiff, help me up. She groaned, what are you? A kid? Grumbling? She climbed onto the bed, grabbing his arm to haul him. Ow. Hurts. Pain seared, his face twisted. Agony raw. I just pulled you, why are you paling like that? My arm, God. It's killing me. Think it's broken. No way, dislocated. Maybe. I yanked too hard. I'll get help. Nyok An bolted out. Shouting. Kin rushed in. Dung demanded, what's wrong? Where's it hurt? A nightmare, Ru gasped. Woke up frozen, my arms, screaming. Phone fretted, what happened? Wetting the bed like this. She and her husband lifted him. Her touch ignited fresh torment, he winced, Mom, stop, it's unbearable. Dung gingerly probed his arm, what's wrong with it? Ru glanced down his arm. Ash gray. Charred. Memory flared, the fire grew, it was him. They froze? Stunned, what? You saw it? What is it, how's it look? What did it say? Trung waved them down, he's hurting, slow down. Ru nodded at his arm, the fire goo did this. Trung palpated gently, what did it do? Snapped it. Is it broken? It's torture. Dung summoned Tin. The medic versed in Western and Eastern arts. Famed for setting bones with herbal wraps. Tin traced Ru's arm to shoulder, not broken, dislocated. But sleeping how? Nyok An piped, I pulled him maybe too hard. Ru shook his head, no, the fire goo twisted it. Your tug couldn't. Tin used, hard to say, dislocations happen easy. Shirt off? Even. Fung urged, fix it. Tin. It'll sting, bear it. Tin warned. Hands, swift. Ru paled. Tears spilling, then relief crept in. The numbness faded, he flexed. Free? Staring out the window, Grandma was there. Trung sighed, clean up, change. Ru bathed. Swapped clothes, still rattled. Unsteady. Tung and the boys spotted him shambling out. Teasing, what's up? Bro? Dreamed so bad you pissed yourself. Ru's face hardened, Grandma came, told me find her wooden box. Then she burned, eyes aflame. I ran, door wouldn't budge. The fire goo loomed, grabbed me. I fought, arm snapped. He laughed, fire poured from his mouth. He showed his scorched arm, don't believe. Look, burned. Hone clapped his back, scared you wet the bed. Ha! No, I think I was burning alive in it. They coffined me, torched me. I prayed for rain, guess that's why. Tongue shot up, burned alive. I dreamed that, woke up sooty. Ru exhaled, felt real, I didn't think it was a dream. But whatever, dreams are dreams. His words belied the unease gnawing him, how could a dream dislocate his arm? That grey burn whence? Lost in thought. He sought Fung. Recounting it all, certain it foretold something. Yet beyond his grasp. Fung's skin prickled, you're sure she stood at the window? demanding the box with a mirror. Dead sure Grandma. Kept repeating it. Maybe it hides more homes, it's sorted too. She said before midnight. Day after tomorrow. Fung nodded. Spirits defy reason, I've always believed. After her rites tomorrow? Tell the master every detail. He'll have answers. Fung cornered Thone about the box. She blinked. Didn't I show it yesterday? Just jewelry, nothing else. Then why'd she task Vu with it and the mirror? A mirror. None in there. You think she foresaw this? Else why'd she tell you to stash that Buddha? I don't know, I followed her orders, Thone said. She wouldn't explain, just do it. Don't ask? Fong sighed, it's a tangle. The master swears we're Gu cursed, no deaths in our clan. She warned you something's afoot? But it's chaos now. You believe Ru met the fire Gu? Thone whispered. If you, his mother, doubt who'll believe. My husband doesn't live west too long. Shrugs it off. I trust it not just 'cause of Lin's spirit calling. Our family's faces are plenty solved by faith. Worship brings grace. Thone. She hesitated. Then confided, Mother told me to hide the box's contents and bury a paper with her. But when she died, I couldn't find it. A mirror. Never heard her mention one. Fong frowned. What? Why bury a paper? What secret? No clue, she just said it. I failed her wish? Linked to Vu's vision. Maybe, but are you sure it was her? Coffins inside, why'd her soul stand in the yard? I doubt it's her. You mean last night's spirit? As Fung spoke, the lights died again. Chapter 13, The voice at the window. Fung rose. Grumbling, what's with the power today? Dung. Check the generator, pitch dark like this. What can we do? Dung strode out. Barking, everyone stay put. Schwen piped up, what's wrong with the electricity? Uncle Dung. Generator's still humming. Dung flicked on a spare lamp, illuminating the socket. Who yanked the cord out? Tung dashed in, shine it here. Dad, I'll plug it back. Dung's been caught, a spreading puddle, panic seized him. Freeze? Electrocution'll kill you. Tung halted. Startled. Trung rushed over, what's happening? Where's the power? Dung aimed the light at the cord dangling from the generator. Its end submerged in water, pooling inexplicably across the floor. Tung gaped. Sweating, what the hell's going on? Where'd this flood come from? Dung pointed at the generator, shut it off now. Tung spun, flipping the switch. The machine sputtered, then died. Fun? Bewildered. Demanded, what's this mess? Why kill the generator? Someone spilled water everywhere, Dung said. The cord's in it, leave it on. Someone fries. Fear rippled through them. Dung's sharp eye had saved a life. A moment later, disaster loomed. Fung's temper flared. Who dumped water in the shed and left it? This is the generator room, not a playground. And who pulled the plug? Dung cut in, it's my backup rig, no plug. Just spliced straight into the socket. Lan's usual setup has its own line, this one's shaky. Probably vibrated loose. Fung inhaled sharply, what a stunt, electricity's no toy. Lucky we caught it. Or. A scream shattered the air. They rushed inside. Nyokan and the two clung together, sprawled on the floor. Dung flung the door wide. Why you two piled up screaming? Gee, ghost. Ghost? Nonsense, Dung snapped. Dawn's breaking what ghosts? Tuan's face blanched, her body quaked as if plunged in ice. Teeth chattered. Lan swept her up. What's wrong? Why are you freezing? Her eyes darted. Terror-stricken. Lips trembling wordlessly. Lan hugged her. Easy. Daughter, what scared you? Mute. Nyok An staggered up. Lurching toward Dung. Uncle? Quick. Lights. On. What happened? Ghost? In there. Grab. My leg. Dung swept the lamp around. Powers out, nerves got you too. Ha. Nyok An's gaze flicked to the wardrobe's base. It's there. Dung peered beneath, empty. He checked under both beds. Nothing. Darkness bumped you into each other. That's all. Creak. Creak. Meow. Nyok An sobbed. Mother, what's that? A sound from the corner jolted them. Dung swung the beamer, hulking. Black shape crouched. Fur bristling. Green eyes glaring. He frowned. A cat. Where'd this come from? Fung slammed the door. Chase it out, don't let it loose. Through the window go. Dung paled. Lock every door, keep it from the coffin. Tuan, still trembling, needed Lan and Thone to hoist her up. Her legs wobbled. Eyes fixed on the cat in dread. Dung edged forward, waving the lamp. The cat recoiled. Hackles up. Grr. Grr. Meow. It lunged. Dung flinched, nearly dropping the light. Fung snatched a shirt, smacking it down. The cat yowled, leapt onto Lan's bed, and glared from the window. Fung struck again. It hissed, baring fangs, then bolted outside, vanishing into the garden. Fung exhaled. Good riddance if it reached the coffin. It had roused the dead. A possessed corpse. We doomed. Dung nodded. Lucky Tuan and Nyok An spotted it, or we'd be too late. Fung agreed. Clear now, just a cat spooking them. Stay sharp, wild cats are swift and vile. Lan guided Tuan to a table. Fetching warm water, drink warm up. Scared, stiff. Ha! Her hands shook, gripping the cup, teeth clenched. Lips quivering. I saw it, a ghost from the window. Lan soothed. It's over. Everyone saw the cat. Dark, tricked your eyes. Know its face. Hideous. Staring eyes blazing. Did it speak? Tuan shook her head. No, I ran, it grabbed me. Cold hands I kicked free. Hit Nyok An. She saw it, terrifying. Lan hugged her. I believe you, daylight's here. No ghosts linger. That cat's to blame. Fung scared it off. A neighbor's lights flared. Koi called. Powers backflip it. Dung. Tongue leapt on it. He reset the breaker, lights flickered. Then held. Relief washed over them. Fung? Stern. Ordered. Lan? Phone, don't leave the coffin. Bands coming, burials, soon, no slip-ups. He turned to the kids. Watch for that black cat, keep it out. Tongue grinned. Catch it. I'll smash it. Did it New Year's? Why not now? Yen clucked. Hush, funerals on. No killing. Dawn crept in, roosters crowed village-wide. King ate breakfast in shifts, prepping the burial rites. In the countryside, by 6 a.m., neighbors trickled in, crowds warmed the mournful air. Condolences grew loud. Lan's descendants gathered at the coffin, cries and calls echoed. Heartrending. The brass band and burial crew arrived, rites completed. Fun? For the clan? Read the eulogy, each word drew tears of grief. Lan's coffin rolled onto the hearse. Kin wailed. Clutching it. Calls for mother pierced the air. Raw with loss. The band led the procession to her final rest. Dozens of wreath-laden cars trailed, followed by a throng of mourners. Buried in the local cemetery. The cortege clogged roads, some stood afar, praying from a distance. The interment hit the master's chosen hour. As the last soil sealed her grave, mourners drifted back. Only the master, Lam, and Yen stayed, performing graveside rites. He instructed, 3 days hence, a mound crowning ceremony would end the funeral. That night, guests dispersed. Lan's clan huddled, reviewing the rites. Fatigue shadowed every face from sleepless days. Feng urged, mother's affairs done smoothly now. The first week, 49th, and 100th days remain. Feng replied, her rites are set. But that box and the masters do gnaw at me. Tomorrow, meet him, dig deeper. If we're cursed, we must break it. Wu spoke, I'm haunted. Grandma demanded the wooden box by midnight tomorrow. Nyok Ana offered, my friend decodes dreams. Should I call him about yours? Trung cut in, kids stay out, your friend knows nothing of this. Nyok Ana opened her mouth. Thone hushed her, quiet, dad's right. Rest. All of you, we'll handle it. Nyok Ana stood, I'm sleeping it. Dung's not here. Tuang and Tui chimed, us too. Mom. Fang, Lan's husband, protested, why all leave? Stay, keep it cozy. Tuang and Nyok Ana, shaken from dawn, refused. Lan waved them off to Dung's. Koi's 4 returned home. Work loomed tomorrow. Feng noted the hour, mother's settled rest now. I'll see the master tomorrow? Then we'll plan. Guy ventured, another seer. Maybe. I trust the master. But no deaths like he claims. How do we search? Feng interrupted, one seer's enough. Too many cooks spoil it. Lin vouched for him. Another'd slight her. Guy fell silent. Hone spoke, dad's got a point. Meet the master again. Or try Hamlong Pagoda, fame for trapping spirits nationwide. Guy countered, trapping needs a goo-tainted soul. We've none to bind. Hone had no answer. Sat mute as Guy pressed, another seer might guide us if fate aligns. Better than fretting blind. Dung, pensive, broke in, something's off that cat today. A black stray in our house. Feng nodded, like New Year's left on the altar. Odd. Though no one here keeps black cats. Didn't you buy out every local one? Dung sighed, maybe a stray, but its timing chills me. Later rest now. We're spent. Dung's family left with the 3 girls. At Lan's? Thone and Trung, Lan and Thang. And Feng's trio remained. Guy lit incense for Lan, prayed, locked up, and slept. Exhaustion dragged them all under fast. Midnight. Feng's stomach churned. Sleep fled. He tossed, then sat at the table, lighting a cigarette. Guy and Hone slumbered on. Clack, clack, clack. The window rattled, then burst open. Cold, rain-laced wind gusted in. Hone jolted awake on summer night, yet bone-chilling. Rubbing his arms, he stumbled to Guy's side, shutting it. It flung open again and his heart leapt. Shaking off dread, he yanked it closed. Outside, inky blackness, rain and wind lashed his arm. Trembling anew, he forced the latch to release it, and it sprang wide. So hot? Hone, save me. A voice drifted from beyond his gut, twisted. What? Wind mimicking words. Did I mishear? Boldly? He seized the latch, wrestling it shut, then a frigid hand gripped his shoulder. Chapter 14, The Withered Beetle Leaf and Areca Nut. Hone shuddered, his gaze dipping to the icy hand on his shoulder. Haven't slept yet, son. Feng's voice steadied him. The window flew open, I feared rain soaking, so I shut it. You're up too. Your hand's freezing. I've been piecing together everything plaguing our house lately, Feng said. Seems it started when Mother brought that coffin home, calamities piling since. You notice? He handed Hone a shoelace. Tie it shut, latches loose. Rainy season swells the wood. Pops it open. Hone secured the window, then joined his father on a chair. In the still living room, they sat, brooding. Feng finally nudged. Sleep, you've been off work days. Rest for strength. Uncle Koi approved my leave, who dare complain? Hone replied. I'll rest till Grandma's first week, right? Then back. Feng nodded. Your call, but don't put Koi in a spot. Folks might gossip you lean on him. You really think we're cursed with a goo? Hard not to, you're near burning. That generator cord in water. Coincidences? Maybe the goo's debatable. But spirits? Certain? Tomorrow, I'll have the master dig deeper. They returned to bed. Moments later, pain gripped Feng. He winced. Sitting up. Creak. 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 Faint noises from the window furrowed his brow. He stilled. Listening, it eased open. Speechless, he watched a black shape dart in, clinging to the bars. He strained to see, his vision blurred. The box. Find my box. The dark thing dangling there spoke clear as death. Who are you? Feng demanded. Your mother, me? Liar. She wasn't like that. Burned, I'm charred. Time's short, find the box. Wind howled, the voice faded. Before midnight tomorrow. Dip that mirror in water 49 days. Must find it, must. It dwindled. Gone. Pain spun Feng's head, he crumpled. Sweat drenched. Lying till dawn. Morning stirred the house. Guy shook him. Wake up, we're meeting the master today. He opened his eyes, window shut tight. Who closed it? Ha! It's been shut, no one touched it, Guy said. Dreaming. You're burning up. Maybe a nightmare. He muttered. I'm fine. Rising. He eyed the window, the lace from last night held firm. Sighing. He stepped down but froze. Staring at the bars. Strange, why are these two blackened like coal? He squinted, charred handprints marked them. Stark as ash. Last night's shadows swinging there chilled his spine. Was it real? Mother seeking the box, true? Guy caught his mutter. What are you on about? Seeking what? He ignored her. Bolting out. Phone fetch, Vu urgent. Trung. Exercising in the yard. Frowned. Morning already, what's with Vu? Critical, mother came in a dream. Wants the box with a mirror like Vu saw. Phone rushed from the kitchen. You dreamed her. What'd she say? Find the box, mirror inside. Soak it 49 days. Soak a mirror? Phone echoed. Why? Guy pressed. Anything else? Just must find it by midnight tonight. Tonight? Guy gasped. Less than 18 hours, how? We'll ask the master, he'll unravel this omen, Feng said. Phone summoned Vu. He shuffled in, yawning from sleepless nights. Feng pounced, recalled Grandma demanding the mirror. Vu snapped awake, nodding, yeah, vivid. Last night. She told me same thing. By midnight? How do we search? Breakfast then with me to the master. Tell him everything exact. They ate hastily, rushing to the master's. His home bustled, early folks queued for land, house, or lucky date readings. Spotting Feng and Vu, he nodded. Wait. An hour passed. He cleared the crowd. Lock the gate, he told his wife. No more today, I'm tied up. She barred it, hanging a busy sign. He lit incense outside, then at the main altar before settling at the tea table with them. Feng began, we need your help. Vu and I dreamed mother demanding a wooden box with a mirror. Soak it 49 days. By midnight tonight. Time's slipping, we're lost. What's she after? The master's crow's feet tightened, peculiar indeed. Her seeking a box, I can guess. Linked to a spirit here. You mean Hone's possession? Feng said. Your charm water stopped it. Not that the box she seeks. And the one that spirit craved, same one. She doesn't know where it is, that's the crux. So not Thone's jewelry box. Right, another. Perhaps identical. We're clueless, Feng said. But mother told Thone to keep that box. Bury a paper from it with her. Thone couldn't find the paper. Related? Maybe. The master flinched, then sank into thought. This isn't simple, he said at last. That paper, what secret? Why bury it? We need it. Who took it? Their key? A spark hit Feng. She kept it home. I'll check the cameras. See who touched her cabinet before Thone. He called Guy. Check footage before and during mother's death. Vu stopped him. You should do it. Why? Anyone could enter, you know that? Everyone's heard of the mirror box. Yet silence. What if someone here took it? The master nodded. Smart, search yourselves. But she said mirror. Vu pressed. If that box had none, how? Find who took the paper first. The master said. Her secret unlocks more. The mirror. No leads yet. We've torn the house apart. No mirror box, Feng said. So the paper. But last time? You saw it. Who can you check again? The master met Feng's anxious gaze. Your clan's peace won't hold. Linked deaths stretch long ahead. Feng paled. What do we do? Can you cut the death thread? Less than 49 days since her passing. Impossible. This karma's heavy. Mitigate. Not escape? Check your kin. Any recent deaths? This isn't a jest. Feng and Vu returned. Hearts tangled worse. Feng scoured the cameras. Cursed luck. They'd glitched days ago. Even the recorder fails now. How? He fumed. Guy soothed. Karma, I'll search again. Where haven't we flipped? Time shrank. Feng's dread swelled. Since dreaming of land, unease gnawed him. He wandered to the old longan tree out back. Ancient, a confidant from youth. Whenever scolded or down, he'd spill his woes beneath it. Now, craving relief, he sat, lamenting. A voice jolted him. Greedy bastards, how much I've shelled out isn't enough. Feng frowned. What? Dung. Why's he in the garden ranting? He turned to leave. Another line froze him. Tell that kid to shut it, or I swear I'll make her regret living. No ties between us. If she's playing blackmail, she's dead. Feng sighed. Dung. Extorted. Business rough. Rivals dirty. But blackmail hinted at darker deeds caught. Dung's voice rose, tell her I've one son. My all. Touch him? They'll pay. Remember nah. I vanished her more's no issue. She can love who she weds. I decide. Fung slipped away, leaving Dung undisturbed. One son Tung his life. Coddled, tight. Unlike home. Free and self-made. Tung chafed under Dung's grip school. Friends. All controlled. Passing the shed. Fung saw Tung and Hone wrestling the generator out. Tung huffed, weird water inside. Hone quipped, that day we torched Grandma's coffin did Uncle pour water here and hand me gas to douse it. Tung scoffed, I'm not nuts 2 cans. One straight in here. Never water. Weren't you possessed then? Maybe the spirit doused you to burn. Then why water now? Even that blackout who spilled it in the shed. No clue. Dad hadn't spotted it. I'd be fried. This house it's like phantoms roam. Before Grandma passed. Nights thundered someone running. I dreamed I was coffined. Burned woke hollow. Terrifying? Hone shifted, hey your ex. Nah she married. Right? Fung slowed, ears pricked. Yeah heard she's got a kid, Tung said. Fung mused, nah the one Dung named. Same girl. Tung went on, dunno why she dumped me rushed home. Wed. Haven't seen her since. Why ask? The master said a clan death sparked this. Dad thinks maybe a bastard kid. Dead. Tripped the goo. Tung gaped, what? Nah had my kid. Impossible don't joke. We crossed lines? Sure. But we were careful. It's old news why dig? Just probing good if wrong. You were closest to Grandma ever hear her mention a mirror. Tung flinched, mirror. What kind? So many here. How'd we know? Fun? The master's urgent. Vu's shout cut them off. Fung hurried in, grabbing the phone. The master's tone was tight, trouble the beetle leaf and a wrecker nut you brought. Withered dry. Chapter 15, The Unacknowledged Child. Fung's voice trembled, what do you mean? Master. The areca nuts I brought this morning were fresh bought new. The beetle leaves my wife picked them from the garden. How? How could they wither? That's why I called. Alarmed. The master replied. Prepare yourselves, I'm coming over now. I sense a calamity looming. But I can't see its shape. The line-cut sweat poured from Fung like rain. He gathered the family, relaying the master's dire warning in clipped tones. Faces tightened with dread. Nyok An burst in. Breathless, everyone to an accident. Hit by a car stuck under it. Can't get out. Lan's face drained white, what? My girl. What happened? She bolted out. Barefoot kin swarmed after her. Trung steadied Nyokan, slow down, what's wrong with her? She. I don't know. Under the car. Nyok An stammered. Tui's there, I ran to tell you. Her face paled, Trung snapped, you're green with fright, stay inside. Rest. No running out, white mornings on us. Why are you all dashing about? Lan and Thang reached the street, crowds swarmed the car. They shoved through, shouting for Tuan. Tui sobbed, tears streaming, she's trapped but alive. Dung bellowed, back off, let us get her out. After shouts and scrambling, Tuan emerged unscathed, bones intact. though ashen-faced. Lan, seeing her escape death, clutched her, weeping. Tuan, shaken from the near miss, couldn't speak, lips quivered soundlessly. Fang hoisted her home, her legs too weak to stand. The master arrived, hearing of Tuan's miraculous survival. Stunned, Fang ventured, the withered beetle and a wrecker foreshadowing this. If so, we're blessed, no harm done. The master brooded, then spoke, I fear not. Tuan's crash mere chance. I can't explain it clear, but those leaves and nuts drying at my altar scream white morning death. His words sank the room into silence. Guy pressed, can you perform a rite to lift this curse? Lifting karma isn't so simple, he said. We must know its root. Right now. Neither you nor I grasp it, how to break it. Tongue broke in, Grandma's house long felt haunted. Nights rumble like footsteps, can that be quelled? Wandering spirits, lost souls unvenerated, can be commanded by masters or priests. The master replied, but I sense no such phantoms here. What about Hone's possession nearly burned alive? Tongue pressed. You're skilled, can't you suppress it? The master paused, then asked, truthfully, any child in your clan unlisted in the genealogy? The question jolted them. Everyone knew Lan bore 3 sons. 2 daughters? After Dung's birth, Bo died, Lan raised them alone. Bo couldn't have strays, Lan ruled the roost. Fung hesitated, I swear no lost siblings. And I've no bastards myself. Dung nodded, none of us brothers have kids outside, no doubt there. Phone questioned, why insist someone in our clan died? It's the only thread I can pull. The master said. Recent. Not old, since Fung first came. I saw the goose mark. My instincts don't lie. Fung spoke, I'm troubled mother's dream. Demanding the mirror. Midnight's near, what if we fail? Something blinds us. The master said. I'll summon your ancestors, hope they'll guide us. He tossed yin-yang coins, both fell face down. He shook his head, no ancestors answer, fate must run its course. What comes? We can't stop. Fung fretted, are they punishing us? A reprimand? The master sighed, glancing at the ancestral portraits, then froze, disaster, the elders weep. This woe's inescapable. Trung leapt up, weeping. We mortals see nothing. Look, ever seen portraits shed tears? The master pointed. Eyes turned, sweat beaded the ancestors' frames. Droplets tracing their faces like tears. Phone gasped at Bo's photo, father too, like he's crying. The master's gaze hit Lan's small altar, her image wept too. Heavens will, all heavens will. He muttered. Trung shrugged, odd. Sure, but damp days make wood weep. No. It's summer dry. Scorching. Fung countered. No humidity for that. Vu interjected, photos sweating in summer, water imbalance in feng shui. Bad omen. Right. But why only the portraits? A portent calamity nears. The master said. I can't pinpoint it, only pray we find the cause soon. Linked to the fire goo? Fung asked. If a clan death came by fire, the fire goo's here. The master warned. Next. Fire claims another. This isn't a game. He drew 2 coins. Chanting, ancestors of wind show us escape, is this tied to the fire goo? Miraculously 1 up. 1 down. Connected? He beamed. Again, did a recent clan death. Fire taken. At an ill hour. Spark this. Another yes, one up. One down. Good good. A third, is this lost soul named in our genealogy? As coins flew, the ancestral incense flared, smoke billowed. What now? The master halted. Why this? Feng yelled to Lan and Thone, get that burner out, why is it smoking? Lan's incense smoldered, no flame. Yet sticks snapped, spilling ash. The master watched, sighing again. Lan's skin scrambled to douse it. Yai! Frantic, pressed, master spontaneous incense burning's a dire sign great ahead. Yes. How do we avert it? Heavens will bend for no one, he said. I reached your ancestors' pity, we stopped short. My hunch holds a fire, death in your clan triggered this goo. The tangle tightened, no clues surfaced. Dung's phone buzzed incessantly, he ignored. Then silenced it. Yen prodded, what's wrong? Someone rile you? He didn't answer, strode out. Feng watched his brother's back, heavy-hearted, recalling the blackmail talk. A thought struck, Tung, could he have a secret child? He followed Dung to the garden. Dung, fuming, hacked a pomelo tree with a machete. What's wrong? Feng asked. Something eating you. Dung flinched, then waved it off, petty work stuff. Brother. True. Dung met Feng's gaze. Startled, since when do you doubt me? No intent, just asking about a girl, nah. That name darkened Dung's eyes, his grip crushed the blade's handle. Feng clapped his shoulder, something's up, tell me. We're brothers. I'll help. Nothing, Dung snapped. Stop guessing. Fine. I'll find her myself. You think her kids' tongues? Dung blurted. The question answered Feng's suspicions. He locked eyes with Dung's rage-twisted face. If the master swears doom's coming, I must dig. We can't sit blind as it strikes. You get me? No chance? You saw the portraits weeping, the incense blaze. You're calculating too. I'll handle it. Keep tongue out. Dung pleaded. Feng nodded, so she had a child. Tongues. Not his swear words. The kid's 6-tongue lamb. But what? They vanished years ago. I don't know where. Tongue said she was married. I forced her off, spreading that rumor so he'd forget. She begged to see him. I sent him to Japan for 4 years. Severed them. Who's blackmailing you? Dung recoiled. How? How'd you know? Answer me. More minds? More solutions. Chapter 16, The Unacknowledged Child, continued. Dung hesitated. Then spoke, a woman, but she's got no tie to our family. Then why the blackmail? Feng pressed. Business dealings. That's all, Dung said. I've done nothing wrong. If you're clean, why fear extortion? Call the police, let them handle it. I'll manage. Dung assured. If you want Na and her kid found, I'll send my boys. Do it, Feng said. I need to confirm if that child's our blood. I swear it's not. The master says a goo means death, may be burned. I need answers fast, Dung sighed. His face etched with worry. He dialed someone, barking orders to track Na. Feng clapped his shoulder, we face what comes together. I know you dread Tung's shock or a rift between you. But if this is the curse's root, we dig here. My biggest fear's Tung turning on us. Dung confessed. He's with a new girl now, unsettles me. She's steering him. And I'm losing my grip. Feng nodded. Grasping his brother's burden, Tung's groan let him breathe. How long will you cage him? You wouldn't understand? What's really eating you? When do you stop trusting me? It's nothing worth your worry. Dung deflected. Nah, I'll get you answers. Rest easy otherwise. Feng exhaled, lighting a cigarette. Dung grabbed one too. You only smoke when you're tangled up. The master's words gnawing at you. I dread ruin crashing down, Feng said. A day we can't stand here. Talking like this. You buy every word that master says? Dung asked. Feels like he's guessing half the time. Feng drew deep. Smoke curling slow, hard to say better believe than deny the unseen. But mother's mirror, what do we do? Your dream? Bruise two alike? How do we search? Maybe we shorted her offerings. And she's nudging us. No, her box hides more, Feng said. She told Thone to bury a paper with her gone when Thone opened it. What's your take? Dung froze. A paper. In her box. He flicked his cigarette down. I've seen it once. Visiting her. She was fussing with jewelry. There was a red cloth pouch. You saw it? Feng urged. Recall it. Dung thought back a month before Lan's death. Home early. He'd stopped by. Her gate stood open. He entered. House locked. Garden gate ajar. He figured she was out back. No sign, then noises inside. Through a window crack. He glimpsed her scrambling, jewelry spilled from her box. A red pouch among it. Smirking. He thought she was counting gold. So he tapped the glass to tease. She jolted, lights died. Objects clattered, he rushed in. Lan scooped up gold rings from the floor. Why'd you kill the lights? He asked. Think I'm a thief? She smiled. Home early. Why lurk outside? I thought burglars. He flipped the switch. Need a scale for all that gold. Ha! It's not safe here. Thieves eye old folks with treasure. Not much, just trinkets from my youth. Gifts from you kids, she said. Hastily stashing the box like hiding it from him. How about a safe? He offered. Cameras everywhere, what thief dares? She countered. Locking the box in a cabinet. Securing the key with a pin in her pocket. Feng frowned. Did you see the paper or a mirror? Dung shook his head. Not inside. But through the window, definitely a red pouch. Sure. Dead sure? Inside. It was gone. Maybe she hid it before I entered. Strange. Feng mused. The secret's in that pouch. Maybe. I'll check the footage, Dung said. Recorders busted, no dice. Dung asked Thone. She'd found no red pouch. Just jewelry? Back to square one. Dung's phone rang. He stepped out. Moments later. Shock seized him. Dead. How? Since when? He dropped the phone. Dazed. Feng pressed. What's wrong? Who's dead? Dung's voice broke. Dead. Burned. Burned alive. Who? Tung Lam. Those three words darkened Feng's gaze. It's clear now, all here. The master was right. I must see him. Take him there. Qin overheard. Stunned, lost in the exchange. Feng dialed the master. Kurt, we found him burned, dead. What now? Unfazed. The master replied, good, get his name. Birth? Death details, prepare a rite. Go? Dung gripped Feng's arm. We need certainty first, let's go there. I get your heart, Feng said. I'm with you? But once it's sure you act. Clear? Deng nodded reluctantly. They sped off, no explanations, leaving the house abuzz. Guy wanted to follow, Feng refused. Business first, talk tonight. They traced Na to her maternal village, a shabby hovel. Feng's chest tightened, his family aided the poor. Yet cast kin to this squalor. Mud walls. Moldy tiles, black and white, patched the roof. A wild yard. A thatched kitchen. Deng stood rooted, struck dumb by the home. Feng called into the yard, anyone here? Silence. He shouted again, stepping to the door. Inside. Darkness, a faint oil lamp flickered, illuminating a child's face on an altar photo. His heart sank. Who's there? An old woman, cane in hand. Shuffled from behind. Feng jumped. Greetings, I'm looking for Na's house. What for? She rasped. What's with her? I need her and her son. Are you her grandmother? Ancient. White-haired. Chewing beetle. She eyed and spat red juice at the wall. Then hobbled in. A dim red bulb flared overhead. She neared a table. Come water. Deng lingered outside, hesitant. Then entered, glanced at the photo. Turned away. The shack teetered. Gloom thick. Feng set fruit on the altar. Lit incense for the ill-fated boy. Na at work? Deng asked. The old woman wiped tears. Work. She's in the hospital. Sick. Mad with grief, committed. She croaked. Her words stunned them. She poured water. Voice slow, her boy short-lived. She couldn't bear it, lost her mind. Why's heaven so cruel? Feng's tone dipped. Our condolences. What took him so young? No illness, good. Spry lad, she said. They wronged no one, yet heaven snatched him early. I'd trade this old husk to bring him back. The chill deepened, silence pressed. Suffocating. Wiping tears. She recounted that wretched day. Tongue lamb, stay with Granny. I'll work. Back soon with gifts, Na said. Why always work, no rest? He whined. Stay with me one day. I need money for school. New clothes. A backpack. Be good, mind Granny. Okay. You work late? Never play, I'm sad. Come home early, I've something for you. Promise early. With a treat. Listen to me. All right? Na left, he watched her fade. Then trudged inside. She promised early. He told Granny. But I know she lies. Granny chuckled. Mothers don't lie, she's always early when she says. Brings gift when promised. She loves me most, more than other moms love their kids. Right? He beamed. Yes, so be good. Study hard. Repay her later. His eyes crinkled, wise beyond years. He knew her sacrifices. Felt her love. That night, he perched at the lane. Waiting. Hours passed, no Na. Granny called him to eat, he refused. She promised early, look. It's dark. He pouted. She's finishing or on her way, Granny soothed. Eat, maybe she'll be here after. No waiting, he insisted. Wandering to the lane. Granny coaxed, he ignored. Climbing the gatepost to watch. She relented, stay in the lane, don't roam. Dark brings bogeymen. Only here tell you when she's back. He nodded. Then flames roared. Neighbors shouted. Battling a blaze. Granny saw a straw pile by the lane erupt. Fire towered over the roof. She stumbled out, "Tongue lamb, where are you?" The slum rallied, water scarce. Buckets splashed feebly at a fire mountain. Late May's sun had baked the straw brittle, a spark could raise it in a blink. Ages later, the blaze died. Then a charred child's body, black as coal, amid the ashes,